to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. The meeting of the Board of Fire Commissioners of District 3, 138 Shenango Avenue, Somerset, New Jersey is called to order under Chapter 231 of the laws of 1975, which notice is posted in the 2024 Home News Tribune and Star Ledger and as bulletin boards at each fire company and township clerk as written by law. All pages and cell phones must be turned off and on vibrate until this meeting is adjourned. This is roll call.
Commissioner Ferretti? Here. Commissioner Reed?
Here.
Commissioner Middleton?
Here.
Commissioner Natal? Here. Commissioner Braxton? Here. And George Morris?
All right. Review and approval of minutes. There aren't any. Under communications, received an invite to Wildwood Memorial Parade in September. We received 4 complaints from East Franklin in reference to the policy violation. Received requests for ladder 25 to cover station 26 on June 15th. Received letter from Martinsville Fire Department in reference to support of East Franklin. Received letter from John Braxton, reference support of East Franklin. Received letter from Franklin Township PBS, reference support of East Franklin. Okay. So noted, we did receive all of those letters. Fire chief's report, community.
Yes, I just got one change to the under communications. Engine 3 was omitted, supposed to be added to that list with ladder 25.
So,
Ladder and engine, they'll both be in service, but they'll be the same, all the same information.
is that it, chief?
No. As of May 14th, the last meeting we had, I'm gonna be adding like my training and some equipment stuff all at once.
Okay.
So it may just jump around a little bit. Hose testing was completed, for our station. We had 19, lengths of hose that failed. They're still at our station. We did our air pack testing. All of our air packs passed, but just a note, we still have 7 old packs that were never replaced. So they were tested also, they're okay, but they're the old packs. All of our extinguishers were tested, 2 failed. I did not replace anything. I didn't order anything because I was waiting to see what the budget first before we do anything.
Okay.
On May 19th, we had our in-house confined space refresher class. The Swift order classes are ongoing. Should be finished by the end of this month, hopefully. On June 1st, we worked with the Franklin Police Department at the middle school for Touch a Truck. We gave out fire prevention booklets and packs from here to the kids, because it's mostly all kids at that event. Our new firefighters will be finishing up their classes. Their graduation is on June the 20th. Still waiting for parts on some of the equipment for our apparatus. Once we have it, we'll notify you that they're gonna come in and change. Our files are all up to date pretty much with our search for the members of Station 25. Once I have everybody's okay from the DFS, I'm gonna make copies and get it up to the office and have it on file here, so you guys have the same file that we have. That's about it.
Okay. That's it?
Yep.
Thank you. Chief Danny.
Yeah. So I sent over the complaints about the policies. that were violated. And one of the main concerns that we have is that Ladder 25 called in service, never left the firehouse. When command was terminated, they acknowledged command was terminated while they were sitting in their firehouse on a walkie-talkie. From the location from their firehouse to the fire scene is a 6-minute ride. So, you know, this has to stop. You don't have a crew, don't call the truck in service. Had there been a fire, they would have been waiting for you. So that is a serious violation of responding to the fire calls. Was the check for East Franklin signed by the Board of Fire Commissioners?
Yes, it was.
Thank you. June 8th, we had a bunch of guys at the Township truck. They handed out fire prevention literature. The air packs were completed. We had all our extinguisher service and returned back to the rigs. We have 4 firefighters graduating on June 20th. Let's see. So while we're trying to keep things moving, I was in contact with someone that owns their own water rescue company, and according to NFPA, Chapter 17, Swift Water Search and Rescue, Chapter 19, Dive Search and Rescue, Chapter 19, Ice Search and Rescue, Chapter 20, Search and Rescue, Chapter 21, Watercraft Search and Rescue, and Chapter 22, Flood Search and Rescue. Need a minimum of 20 people to have a team. Right now, there's only 7 people who took the swim test and 11 people that are signed up for the Swift Water team, because I was called by the instructor and asking where our 12 people were. And I told them that until the leadership changes, that our people will not be attending the classes, because we're supposed to be a joint Swift Water team, not a team assigned to one individual fire chief or fire company. So the board has to let me know what they're gonna do, if they're gonna relinquish their sole control and custody, so our people can take the class as a joint venture, or pretty much you can probably sell all the equipment, because you don't have enough people to have a team. And that's right here from ERT Consultants. And Jack Ramlick, who is another person who does Swift Water and all that stuff, you can ask him, and he's not the one who wrote this letter. So far, the fire district has spent $62,000 on the boats, loose equipment, titles, parts, fabricated storage box, bags with gear, and still has another purchase order out for wetsuits for 24 people for another $26,500.
It's more than that.
Huh?
It's more than that.
So bringing your total up for 11 people is up over $100,000. So, what do you want to do?
One more note, the actual total of those boats was above 62, because ours truly only put on a ballot 45, and then wound up putting in separate purchase orders for various different things. My total at the time was about 89,000.
So 89 plus 26,500 for 11 people, well, 7 people. So what's the board want to do?
Well, at the time, when we discussed this, these boats were bought for the district. You guys were a part of that team, and then you decided to pull out.
We decided to
So,
pull out.
wait a minute, you
Go ahead.
asked a question, so I'm trying to answer you. We spent money on the suits, the training, you came in, you took part of the training, and then at the last minute, you decided you wanted nothing to do with it. So that left us holding the bag with all this equipment that we purchased, so both companies can be a part of this Swift Water Rescue. Now, I know we don't get floods all the time, but at the time when we did have that flood with Bound Brook and all that situation going on, everybody was underwater, we were the only part of the town that didn't have a rescue system to help our people. Bound Brook was out, New Brunswick was using their boats, Somerset was using their boats to help people, but we had no protection here. So we decided, let's go ahead, purchase these boats, so at least we have it. We'd rather have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Because when we did go out to the county, they couldn't help us either, because they were out also rescuing people. So this is why we purchased it. It wasn't our fault that you guys decided to pull out of it.
It is your fault.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
you took away the joint venture
Yep.
and made it a single company operation.
That was-
Hang on a second,
Yeah.
when Chief Reese and Chief Calvo were part of the committee with me and Chief Richardson, it was the two chiefs were in charge of the team, and they would work jointly together, set the drills up, work together. When the boats went out, both companies met, both companies can have 3 guys, 10 guys, 12 guys, whatever. It was a joint team, just like when the fire alarm goes off to go to a house fire, we all go to the house fire. You, the board, decided to take it and say, it's a rescue company function, we'll give it to the rescue company. Well, we're an engine company and they're an engine company, so are you gonna take the hose off of their trucks now? Because we're an engine company and they shouldn't be an engine company? It makes no sense. You, the board, took away the power of the chief or deputy chief of East Franklin, who was assigned to the water rescue team. Chief Reese, when you were at the meetings, what was the joint venture?
Just like you said it.
Thank you, sir. Joint venture, both chiefs, top chiefs were in charge. You decided to take it away and give it to community.
I don't think we never decided, because
Oh, yes, you did.
we can't
Oh, wait a
get
minute.
involved in the inner workings
No,
of
I'm
the
gonna-
Now
fire.
tonight, we're gonna pull that rafter? That's not happening
Yeah, I'm gonna
tonight.
speak out of turn in a second.
That's
That,
not-
that was decided when they requested the boats over to East Franklin, and Fatima said no. Because she was the authority on the fact, and that was the way it sat, when they wanted to bring it over to the firehouse. Shortly after that day, a Saturday, when I asked her about it, she said no. I said, well, I'm saying yes. She said, I'm saying no. Shortly after that day, maybe a week, they pulled out of the thing because it became apparent that you put 25 in charge of those boats.
I've been a firefighter here for over 20 years myself. For as long as I've been here, community has always been fire and rescue, meaning they did all the technical work. East Franklin was always water suppressant. It's just like Somerset, right? They have their heavy rescue, they have their water division as well. Whoever's in their part of their district, they don't fight back and forth for the water rescue stuff, because they know Somerset is the trained part of that district. So they're responsible for the water rescue. Again, like I said, it was a joint venture. They chose not to take part of that.
No, we took,
No.
It wasn't
we
us.
chose not to take part when you took away my authority and
You
my
never
deputy
took away
chief.
your authority.
You did
Chief.
so.
You're supposed to
You
talk
did
to
so.
the chief. The chiefs are
No,
supposed to
that's not what
communicate,
happened.
and you never did.
So when you wanna talk about that, and you wanna talk about the rescue company and the people, it's great that you do that, because it'll flip me up to your superficial press release where community fire company is gonna have all the staffing to handle the calls when East Franklin's not here, if you take our stuff away. So 324 calls since January 1st. 98 calls, community fire department had trucks roll with 2 or less people. 38 fire calls, community did not get out the door, meaning Herman Calvo or Lou Pennell filled out the fire report by themselves. So considering that you're praising them for being the rescue company, you need to figure out if you're here for all the taxpayers and want this to be a joint water recovery team, or you want it to be just a community team. Because if it's gonna be that, we can't get out the door for a fire alarm at 3 o'clock in the morning, or a smell of smoke in a house at 5 o'clock in the morning. They're all gonna show up just to take the boats? I don't think that's happening. Nowhere, no how. And it's all documented.
Well, like you
We had
said,
somebody Oprah request the fire reports, and they sat and they did all this legwork for us, because they're a taxpayer. And they want it known that what you're trying to do to us by shut us out and have this fire company community that you belong to is gonna save the district. We'd save the district together. We have good days, we have bad days. They have bad days, they have good days. But stop praising what's not gonna happen. because it's not gonna happen. You, Commissioner Braxton, sat there and said, community is in charge of the water recovery team. We left this meeting, went to that firehouse, got everything, and brought it back the next morning in a van. Done. Done. That's how it happened. And you praise yourself for being a firefighter for 20 years. You keep taking the district physical. When was the last time you rode a fire truck?
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it
The
does.
taxpayers are spending
No,
money
the
for you to go for a
taxpayers, yes, they
physical.
are.
For you to
There
go
are
for a physical
reasons-
for your
there are
job,
reasons
because you don't
that-
ride the
no.
fire truck. I asked you a simple question. When was the last time
I
you rode a
just
fire
answered.
truck?
I
When?
haven't written in a long time.
Right, but every year you
But I am
spend
still a part.
$850 and go get your physical and your stress test for your job. For your
No.
job.
No.
What do you
Do
go
you have
for?
proof of that?
What do you go for?
Anyway.
No,
Getting
not
back to this.
anyway. We're here
This-
because
this-
you
this-
wanted to be transparent.
This
Mr.
isn't
Commissioner.
gonna be an argument,
You're not.
right?
You're right. It's
We're
not.
trying to
So
figure
everybody
out
here,
how
he
we can
doesn't
work
ride a
together.
fire truck. Thank you. I'll move on to my next question. My next question, right? Okay, great.
Direct your reports to the board.
Okay. So my next thing is, there was a drug policy that was passed that the attorney sent to the chiefs, that notes were made on, and at the February meeting, a different drug policy was passed that you want us to enact on when you sign, or when I sign, if I ever sign, the new contract. So what happened to the drug policy that the lawyer wrote, sent to the fire chiefs, sent back with notes? Where's that one? Because I can't believe for the life of me that we changed the drinking from 8 hours, you only gotta be home for 4 hours before you get on a fire truck. Where did that come from?
I don't remember seeing that.
You wrote it.
Yeah, it's in there.
You wrote it. Policy number 20, oh, that's not the right one. Hang on, let me get it. In my policy book. Two 2024-01, your new drug policy, that the law, unfortunately, the council wasn't even at the meeting when that was approved.
We discussed that in the meeting.
And I brought it up, and
Yeah.
the lawyer actually asked how it got passed without him being here. So if I was to sign my contract tonight, it's okay for my fireman to go home under your law and have 5 or 6 beers and take a 4-hour nap and come drive your $1 million fire truck with your camera system in it that you have to watch and see everywhere it goes, because I don't think that's legal. So how, are you gonna rescind that policy?
No, we're gonna stick by it.
You're
You're
gonna
gonna
stick
We're
by
gonna
the
talk
policy.
to our
4
attorney
hours?
about it, and we'll have a discussion about it, and then if it needs to be adjusted, we will do that.
So-
But as of right now, we're talking about working together and stuff like that.
Who's
And
working together?
It seems
You're
like,
working together with who, us?
if you recall, it's always like, when you can't get your way, right?
Okay,
Listen,
talk.
no,
Talk.
when you can't get your way, you do this all the time.
Yeah.
You get everybody, you run around town, you make false accusations
Right.
that we're trying to shut you guys down.
Right.
Never said
No,
that.
yes, you did.
All we did,
But can you
we
read?
did not.
Yes,
Can you read? I have a letter from him. I have a letter from him. If I don't sign the contract,
It's just like any other contract. It's just like any other contract, right?
right?
If your contract expires and you don't sign it, we do have the right to pull our equipment. Do we wanna do that? No, we do not.
Yes, you do.
We asked you to sign the contract, but you guys do not wanna sign the contract because you don't want the cameras.
That's not true. That's
You
not
just said
true.
it. We're invading your
That's not true.
privacy. You
No,
just
what I
that.
said is, and Mr. Reed was at the
You
meeting,
just said that.
that the cameras came on with the lights and sirens in the chief's car. The cameras right now have been in those trucks for 12 years. And in the 2 chief's cars that you own outside, those cameras in those 2 cars come on when the lights come on. You're more than welcome to get whatever you want out of them. That's been like that since the day they were built. Same thing with the fire trucks. They requested them last night. So let's get back to you.
So, but wait,
Go
but you
ahead.
did say right? That the system that we're trying to upgrade to gives.
So
us
you
the
can watch me
advantage
in my car in your backyard with your boys having a couple beers, right?
of- Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
what you said, right?
Yeah,
Well,
because that's
that's
exactly
That's
true.
not, that's not the way
Sure it
it
is.
was.
Sure it is.
The camera system goes out to a third
They're
party
waiting for their 4
company,
hours.
right?
Right.
To get sober.
It goes out to a third party because we had this conversation because we knew you would do this. We don't want
You knew
control
that.
of
You
it
knew I
because
was
you
doing this?
knew that you would complain and say that we were gonna be watching and things like that.
Well, I think it's kind of creepy.
Chantel, can you upload this for me, please?
You want to upload video? You're not going to want to do that. You're not going to want to do that. Well, we can. He's not even here to defend himself. Poor guy's going to be done.
Oh, well.
We just want everybody to just pay attention and listen, because this was the biggest complaint about people spying on people, with these camera systems, okay?
That, while this vehicle is in motion, you're being audio taped and videotaped.
You gotta go back some.
So nobody can turn on.
Doctor took his personal insurance.
But why they're not getting the stuff from us, that's all. And that's all I have for insurance, except for, one of the guys at East Franklin had an eye injury. I believe that,
Bear with me.
Okay, well, I would get them in pink and say Fire District 3 on there. I need a count from you and how many you need. Okay. Okay, so as soon as you can get that, then we can find, we might, where did we order the last ones we got? Did we order them from Lorraine's? Where they engraved them on the back and everything?
We get them right from Majestic.
Majestic, thank you.
That's all you got?
Shush.
Okay.
okay, under safety, taking the stuff off the equipment, obviously, is not a good thing, and seatbelts in trucks. Can we go back to, I know you, Danny, you guys are doing it for a while, maybe when you have your officers meeting, for a while, everybody was calling in service with how many guys they had, how many light guys they had, and if the seatbelts are on. This way the officer knows that the guys have the seatbelts on, because we went back to calling the truck in with a full crew, which, unless you know what truck it is, you have no idea how many people are on it.
Are you talking to Chief Gallo?
I'm talking to both of them, because it's both of their decisions on how they call the trucks in service, and I just think it's good for both of them to know how many people are coming and how many people are just gonna get out of the truck and not be able to do anything.
Actually, it's a township-wide policy, how many people you call in service, and we added and belted to the end.
Right.
The other thing is while you're on safety, the cameras were put in all the
I
trucks.
was just gonna say that.
Um,
Except for ladder 25,
The
right?
ladder truck and, the one in my car is not working, so we have to call people. Also, Lloyd will probably like this, we had stickers made, and we've been putting, in at least my apparatus, I gave them to Chris to put in their apparatus, that, while this vehicle's in motion, you're being audio taped and videotaped. So nobody can turn around and say, oh, I didn't know.
Just so that they know, you know, gentlemen, he had called and asked me, and I said, order them, just get me the bill, because it's gonna cover us.
And I actually have a question for the lawyer too. What does it take in order to legally go and look at something that happened or didn't happen in one of our apparatuses? Should it just be the matter of, I wanna go look at the tape for one of the trucks and see what happened that day? Or,
As a
if
commissioner,
somebody goes to one of the chiefs and says, the guy was driving like an ass, you should do something about him, they call one of the commissioners, we go look at the tape. Is somebody gonna say somewhere along the line that we shouldn't have had access to the tape? Or since there are
wouldn't that
trucks
be
in our
kind of part of
town?
your fleet service?
Well, I'm just asking, because we had a problem in the office a few years
That's
ago.
different in the office.
Right, but I'm glad they put the stickers in it saying they're being videotaped and audio taped.
Well, whenever somebody complains about one of our drivers, we go and look at the
It
tape.
should, they do it automatically.
I just don't want to hear that they shouldn't have been looking at it, it should have been us looking at it, or vice versa.
No, our policy is too cheap.
I have no problem.
Okay.
If your fireman's gonna come in and just start looking at people on the tape.
No, there's certain,
I don't think they
Our policy is two chiefs officers. If you came to me and complained about Brandon's driving, well, he'll go and download it onto a laptop and we'll watch it. And if you did something wrong, you'll pay for it.
Right.
If you did nothing wrong, then.
But that's part of the reason why it's not just to catch them doing things wrong, it's to protect them, right? And you've used it.
Well, I would think people would be on their best behavior, you know, I mean, every truck's got a seatbelt alarm in it, and they see people getting trucked around the seatbelt.
All right, I just wanted to stop that there, because I wanted to let you guys hear it for yourselves, okay? This was 15 years ago when these cameras were first placed.
That wasn't 15 years ago.
It was,
Put your years right, buddy. Put your years right. 15
I'm
years
sorry,
ago?
10 years ago.
George had
At the end of the
opinion.
day, what you were listening to is the chief saying that him and his team go inside, take these SD cards out, and view these videotapes, which is totally against our policy. Even you heard his brother at the time, who was the chair, say the same thing. It is the commissioner's job to go and view these tapes in case there's any type of incidents that's going on. But yet he's claiming that all we want to do is watch the videotapes and watch them all day. But yet he takes it upon himself, the chief, to pull these videotapes.
Of his own fire trucks, right?
They belong to the district.
Well,
The district stuff.
Mark, since he's
But
not
the-
letting, Mark,
but-
since he's not letting me talk,
But the policy.
Teddy was a commissioner when the cameras were in the truck,
So
so Teddy
here's-
looked at the
here's-
cameras.
Also to say
Listening
to that,
intently to Commissioner.
also on that note, notice we have receipts here, okay? From the company that installed this, which is no longer in service, Emergency Services System. Okay, so mind you, you heard the last commissioner at that time say, hey, just give me a call, give me a price, we'll take care of this, all right? Supposed to go out and have this stuff taken care of. You're supposed to have 3 vendors contact you to put bids in for this stuff. We get a phone call, send us a bill, we'll take care of it. Notice, it was only signed by 2 people. The chairman, which is his brother,
He's the only one.
and the treasurer at the time, which was also a woman's auxiliary member of his department. So, to me, this looks like, are we getting kickbacks? What are we doing, special favors? No
That's
favors
not
going
wanna go
out,
down.
all right?
That's a really tough accusation to make,
I'm just
since
saying,
that business
it's here.
was state contract.
The thing about it is, he's talking about, so they're trying to be.
Purchase orders have the quotes attached to them?
I have the floor,
Excuse me.
He's talking about
I
being
ran that
invasive.
business, and that business was state
Exactly.
contract, and if
The
you
same
know
business
anything
that your
about
husband was a
state
part of,
contract,
you were a
move.
part of,
Get out
one of your
my
members
house.
were a
If
part
you know
of.
anything about state
And-
contract, you know you don't have to go out to bid. So you should
Let's
sit
talk
there
about-
and know your,
let's
what
talk about
you are
everybody-
capable of doing as a
Let's talk
commissioner.
about everyone
Please, just stop.
that's
He's trying to flip
involved.
this for everybody.
Let's talk about how everyone that's involved in the district, right?
This is years ago. Let's talk about now. The taxpayers are here now.
Were you on the board 10 years
I have
ago?
order, if you guys
You have
not, you're
order.
gonna
Do
have
I
to.
still have
be
my
out.
report?
Were you on the
Excuse me.
board 10 years ago?
Lisa,
You
give me a
did
second to
Let's-
10
speak.
years ago.
Let's-
Give me a second to speak.
Let's
I'm
look
gonna
at,
finish
let's
this
look
up
at
right now.
how things been in the past, right?
How's your tires on your truck, honey?
I don't know.
Whoa.
Sounds like slander to me.
How's
Listen how this goes, right? Ever since the board was here, it was always run by 27. They've always had the upper hand here. But see, now we got a new board, we have regular people here. So as it stands right now,
27 by the liquor.
our insurance broker that we deal with is a member of 27. Our district training officer, a member of 27. The old drug company that we used to use, we're members of 27. So every time you have an issue, you have that access. Oh, and also, because the chief brought it up, yes, Teddy Riddison was also a member of 27 who had access to these tapes.
This guy.
Well, who did you
So,
submit for those jobs that
As
got
a
turned down?
district, just like the emails that, the presidency, Hillary Clinton thing, same thing. We have a district computer that was never in the office, but Teddy Riddison had his personal password on there. Why is he taking this district equipment out of the office and programming his own personal equipment. We couldn't even do investigations because our secretary here had to call down and get this personal password. Why do they have access to this? So this is why we brought up, we don't want to have anything to do with it. We don't want them to have control of it. We go into a third party, and if any time there's an
You're gonna do a third
accident
party
or
for a fire
somebody's
truck too,
calling,
you can't get out?
we call, have this information downloaded to the attorney will review it, and then all the board members will receive it, and then we will decide what actions to take. So it wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing that we're trying to hide anything. I just wanted it to be known. This all started because they didn't want cameras in the truck.
That's
They
not
felt
what we
as though
said.
we were going
That's
to
not what we
violate
said.
their privacy.
That's not what we said. When you and Rob Matei almost got into a fist fight and Mr. Reed had to separate you, that didn't happen? Okay, hang on a second. So are you done? Okay, now that Mr. Middleton's done with his showboat, let's get this straight. He stood out in the parking lot last month and told Patty that he needs her to flip because he can't get Fatima or Janet on his side with Ken to push me out as fire chief, fire Craig Miller, get rid of anybody from Station 27 that has anything to do with this fire district because he wants sole control. Which brings me back, unfortunately, Janet and Fatima, to February 26th of 2023. Newly elected Commissioners Braxton and Ferretti came to East Franklin, Commissioner Nattell and Office Manager Chantel to meet at Station 27 to have a plan for the coming year. It was discussed with the concerns to keep Commissioner Middleton out as chairman, out of any position possible, because everything he does, he comes after East Franklin. He's been vindictive towards everybody, and it was also stated by Janet that she had a hard time with Sherrod because she had to fire your wife from where she worked at, and that we wanted to have a clean transition and keep you out of everything. Did we or did we not discuss that? Now you put me out on the roll, right? We did that?
I didn't say anything to you.
Oh.
I didn't discuss that.
No? Yeah, we absolutely did.
Talking to Chief.
Okay, so if we're gonna sit here and showboat, hang on, I got the floor. We're gonna sit here and showboat. I've asked you to do things. I'm not saying you did, okay? I've tried.
People harass me,
I've
sending
had-
me messages from your company that you
How do you know
sent
it's from my company?
because
Our
I
flyer
did
went
my
out to
investigation.
7,000 people.
That was
That-
convenient
that'll
when we
be
had to
more.
walk around
You'll
for
see.
her daughter to get her
There'll be
money.
more that comes around.
Let's get that straight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
let's
I
get
walked
that
around
straight.
for hours for
We
you
did
guys,
it.
so don't
We did
stop.
it. We all
Where
did
all
it.
your other buddies?
We
I
all-
walked around for hours.
We all did it. So you want to showboat, Sherrod? We'll showboat. But I'm going to tell you what right now, okay? When you make the accusation to that secretary about you need to find different people to hang around with and you need to choose better company, that's towards me when you're talking about my daughter.
Correct.
So I'll tell you what, that's harassment. I am done with this. My lawyer's here. I will be suing you for something in the workplace, whatever it's going to be. All you do is harass me. You make it a hostile work environment. You talk all this crap. You still haven't answered to the people why you go get an $800
Wait.
physical. No, I got the floor now.
No,
Okay,
this is
no, I
our-
do.
this is our
I do.
meeting. We run
Okay.
this meeting,
You
okay?
run this meeting? That's good.
So we have
You run the
it. So,
meeting.
okay.
We agreed to the cameras in the trucks. We
Okay.
agreed to the cameras in the trucks, voice activated in the chief's cars only. Everything else could be fine with no rear facing camera in the chief's car. And you said, nope, that's not the way it's going to be because I'm going to do it my way. And here we sit because
So,
you
you
thought
said-
you were smart enough to take it out of the contract. You took it out of the contract thinking that I wouldn't see it.
The same way
But we
you're
knew
sitting
all
here
along.
and you're making all these accusations.
They're not accusations,
See,
they're not true. I got the proof.
But see, no,
I got it.
everything
I
you're
got
saying
it.
that I said, there's
You
no
said it.
proof to it.
There is so. President Mika White, where are you? He sat in the parking lot and heard you.
We're
He
not
sat
gonna
in the
get
parking
into
lot and heard you say everything about Fatima and Janet. He heard you say everything.
So he heard me say he didn't hear.
He heard her
Commissioner Ferretti.
squeaking and telling
He didn't
telling
hear
yeah.
her calling Fatima Braxton fat, lazy ass because she doesn't know what she's doing.
I don't know.
Janet doesn't know what she's doing. She's been here long enough. She always flips everything.
I don't know.
We'll move on.
I don't know if he did or
So
didn't.
also, did we not let everybody also know that, this same commissioner that has two sons in your department also put on her door. How do you separate two different fire companies?
My
So
house.
you got this company over here that's more, you know.
It's my house, and none of
More
that
what?
is
Yeah,
untrue.
more what? But yeah,
More
you know,
what?
I think back
None
around,
of that is
so she calls
untrue.
them
Wait a
all
minute.
thieves.
You
She
want
calls them
names and
thieves.
dates? I'll put the names and
She
dates.
calls
Or
them
what?
thieves.
All right, now you've asked for it.
Criminals. She said
Now
they're
you've asked for
untrained,
it.
but they all get the same training. So how do you expect that? And she says she's gonna ride the back for East Franklin. Why? Because she has an alliance there.
Well,
This
you
is
have
why
an
she's
alliance
upset.
to your fire company.
Yeah, right?
I'm at community, but guess what?
Still wanna know what
Any
this
one
court
of
has
them would
to
tell
know
you,
about.
I don't even go around.
Exactly.
I have a job.
Why do you sit on the e-board? Why do you sit on the e-board?
Firefighter then.
Because my job is to
Okay, so you
protect
can't
this
say you don't go
taxpayer.
around when you sit on the e-board of the firehouse.
Look.
Exactly,
I'm not-
exactly,
I'm just gonna say like this though. First off, this is me. I shouldn't have got pulled into the nonsense because that's all you guys do.
As a commissioner, you should really be more harsh on your companies.
I am partial.
You're not.
We suspended multiple people from my department. We had every part to it.
Who?
Never suspended anyone in Franklin. And I want to
You had somebody suspended, then you let
We're gonna move on
Yeah,
now.
okay.
I'm not done with my
Mr.
report.
Move along.
I'm not done with my report.
What else do you have?
So the fire commissioners get paid $800 a month. I've sent out numerous text messages, emails, and I get no one to respond to me. And according to your bylaws, you need to respond to me within 24 hours. At the last meeting in May, or April, you guys all left here. Nobody signed any checks except the treasurer. 4 days later, we went to get fuel. Captain Latanzio, you in here? Okay, they went to get fuel. The credit cards for the fire trucks were shut off because none of the commissioners signed the checks and they shut the fuel cards off. But you're getting $800 a month to sign checks and come to meetings. Can anybody explain to me what happened?
Can't explain that, Chief.
Can't explain.
Sorry.
No answer.
No.
But they can pay per diem firefighters.
No answer.
Much those guys are gonna cost if you bring them in.
So the next thing is, I want to go back to this. So in September 2022, since we're going to go backwards, September 2022, I was smoked out by a fire apparatus at the 84 Veronica Avenue. A couple nights later, one of my firefighters observed a male firefighter from another fire company urinating in an active fire scene. The board's attorney hired a private investigator and came to the conclusion that the member of Community Fire Company was suspended by the board for 3 months and was unable to return unless he signed the last chance agreement letter. According to the bills, the private investigator cost $4,000 between the lawyer and the private investigator to conduct his business. At the meeting on April 2023, when the two commissioners were at the new meeting, and the 3 previous members met in executive session, they overturned the previous board's decision to have that firefighter sign a last chance agreement. So not only didn't you listen to the district attorney's recommendation, you let a firefighter from a fire company where you belong, and you're on the auxiliary, and you're on the auxiliary, skate free and clear after costing the taxpayers all this money.
On a criminal matter.
And that female firefighter, the last time she came to this floor and asked for her records, you told her it's a personnel issue. She is the victim. She is entitled to whatever transpired in that case so she can give it to her attorney. Just like I am, because I was a victim because he was suspended for smoking out my cheese car and hitting high exhaust. So I was a victim too. So I'll take the closed session minutes from that meeting so I can give them to my lawyer so I can file a lawsuit.
You have no access to closed session minutes.
Well, I have to. There was a decision made.
You don't. And your lawyer knows that. She can
Well,
explain that.
So how do you decide in closed session and not come back out to the regular floor by law and vote in a regular meeting to overturn something that you discussed in closed session? That's how the law works. If you vote, you decide something in closed session, you have to come back out here and make a motion to change it. You didn't do that. You violated the rules of engagement on having a meeting. So, nobody voted to change it, So I guess that guy should be suspended until he signs his last chance agreement, because it was illegal what you did, because you didn't vote.
It wasn't illegal what they did. They're allowed to discuss personnel matters in
Okay.
executive session and make decisions based on
They
that.
have to vote on him in a regular meeting.
There was no vote to be taken.
Why? The previous board made it, the previous board suspended him.
There was no vote to do that as well.
Sure it is, it's in the minutes.
Like, you don't have to come out and do that. You don't have to, on a
So
personnel.
some days you can and some days you don't have to. I'm just asking. I'm not being funny to you. I'm just asking. I thought you had to come back out to this floor and vote on what was discussed in closed session.
They can give direction to their attorney as to what to do, and they did that. They can give direction to me in executive session.
So nobody has a problem with spending all that money and that person just living clear and free because two people were on the ladies auxiliary and one person's a member of the fire company on the executive board and thought it'd be okay to overturn the ruling of the commissioners from a month and a half before.
I also think it's a waste of a lot of money that we put out to do this rescue company with these boats, all this stuff coming out here with the township. It's a lot, you know, with the attorney, you gotta pay
The
this
boats are the
attorney.
biggest waste of money in the world.
Yeah.
I wanted it for
I think it's a waste of time. And then we talk about, you know, you were talking about earlier about your daughter, right?
Yeah.
We also
She's
said.
gonna get up and talk, don't
Listen,
worry.
no, we also said as your boss, we don't want people in our vehicles that aren't, you know, in our vehicles, right? No children, no family members, women's auxiliary, different thing.
Well, we have the
But-
junior
but
auxiliary like
listen,
community had. They're
no,
like
no,
8 and
no.
under, because they
No.
came to the installation
No.
dinner, they came to the
No.
awards banquet for the district.
Well, I am. I just wanted to let it know, you know, as far as the fire with the kids.
Just finish
Or
it.
RCs.
Yeah. So what, you want to go?
All right, are you done now?
Can my lawyer have the floor?
No.
No?
She has 3 minutes during public comment.
Are you done?
Everybody will give you your 3 minutes. You can stay here for an hour.
You cannot assign 3 minutes. We played that game before. You cannot assign 3 minutes.
Yeah, we will.
What's the time?
Just 3
Okay.
minutes.
So,
I'm not
So-
gonna respectfully disagree with you, George, on that one, but
Can't yield.
go ahead.
so now we'll get to my contract. What are we gonna do about the contract? I just got a text message from the mayor that the governor is gonna get involved.
Okay.
So. We're gonna put it on the high vote, and see if we're gonna shut us down if we don't sign that contract.
Nobody said we ever wanted to shut you down.
Are you serious? You had a raise?
Was that we wanted to make changes and have control of our own.
No. Let me read this to you. The district will continue to monitor and administer all financial issues during this extension period as followed. As always, East Franklin Fire Department should attempt to encumber any district funds without fine discussing such costs with the chief and the treasurer. We further expect, if East Franklin does not execute this contract, we'll need to set up a process to retrieve all equipment assigned to East Franklin, including but not limited to turnout gear, radios, apparatus. Failure to sign will affect the payments of EFFD training and LoSAP. This is the funny one. We would further expect that firefighters may want to transition to the community, and we make this case very simple to determine the orderly process to make sure it happens. So that means right there that you are going to take the fire trucks away on June 30th at midnight. That's what retrieve means.
With July
30th,
4th, 4 days away.
If there is no contract, we have the right to retrieve
No.
our equipment.
What you have the right to
because
do
you're
and
not
what you
getting into
said
the
you're gonna
contract
do.
with us. So we do have a right to remove it because the contract states, we give you equipment, we pay for your schooling and all that stuff so you can fight fires for the town. If you're not gonna fight fires for the town, you cannot have that equipment. You
Well, we are
cannot
gonna
just
fight
drive
fires.
around with equipment.
But you're the one hindering that.
No, I'm
So
not.
Yes,
for everybody
you are.
and for the minutes to show
We did
that
not
this letter
bring
is from
the
your
attorneys
attorney.
involved.
This
They weren't
letter.
the attorney. So if
You
they were so
forced
for
an attorney.
no, if
Yes,
they
you
were for the
did.
town,
And you're
they would
changing
do-
what you
no.
said every second. You're
I like
changing
how
it.
everybody
No.
always has words.
This
in my
letter.
mouth. I like it.
This letter
I'm
right
glad.
here.
This makes it better.
Because you like to do it. No, Mr. Move On, we're not moving on. It's not settled. It's not settled, and it needs to be
This
settled.
letter right here is from your office.
June 30th,
George.
contract's over.
Okay, George wrote the letter that says we're gonna turn all our
Okay,
equipment in.
Not
Enough,
settled.
enough.
It's not moving
George
on.
just said, he wrote this letter that we're gonna return all our equipment on June 30th. So that's what it means. 'Cause
Yeah.
Okay.
If you guys don't go into a contract with us,
Okay.
we
So-
have the right to remove.
No,
the
you keep saying the
equipment.
right.
No.
Are you gonna do it or you're not gonna do it?
If you don't sign the contract, we will have to take
Oh, okay.
out our stuff.
And
Yeah.
then I'm gonna initiate a class action lawsuit against you for not providing fire safety and.
No,
fire
we have fire
services.
safety.
No, you do not.
Yeah,
For the 7 people that don't get out? No, sir, no, sir. Anybody here that's interested in that, I'm taking names.
Come on, man, get it together.
How many calls did they scratch on this year? Maybe we should look at that too. They said it before, nine
East
is
Franklin is always the one that's
So
out there
you
doing
can't-
the
The other 7 members of community had water training. It's okay.
So you can't take the money that you asked the taxpayers for, that's why they're here, because we had a meeting with them. You can't take that money and go hire per diem firemen without sending something to the state, DCA, Community Affairs, telling them why you're gonna do it. And then they might wanna look into who told the DCA that you had a signed contract with both fire companies and they released the money to the district. Because when I talked to Mrs. Goody at the town council, when I talked to the town, you weren't allowed to get that money until there was 2 signed contracts at the DCA. And somebody told them you had 2 signed contracts. And she already had the check. So she was directed by the DCA to write the check. So before you go shuffling feathers and trying to change the money that's allocated to buy my new engine or to give us towards our allotment, you have to pass a lot more resolutions and do a lot more things, and you're definitely not gonna get it done in 15 days or less. Because the town was offered money by Fire District 1 to put on 2 more fire inspectors, and District 1 was gonna pay for it, and the town said, no, they're not doing that anymore. So, I don't know what you think you're gonna do. According to Mr. Morris, who for years has said that it's illegal for the fire district to hire fire inspectors, I don't see him turning face now and saying, go ahead and hire the fire inspectors. Because the last 9 years he's been here with me, he's always said at every meeting when it was brought up that it was illegal to do. So, I think what you need to do is figure out a way to meet in the middle with the contract, and after this is over, if my attorney speaks, if you want to go to closed session and try and work it out tonight, we can do that. If not, we're not signing the contract the way it sits. Okay? And you shrug your head, and you ain't been in a fire truck in 20 years, maybe you better go figure out how to put on turnout gear again, because they need the help. And you know what? Just go get fit tested. Go get fit tested. You can ride the truck. Get fit tested, because $850 to the doctor that you could have put towards something else, buying new turnout gear, buying a couple hoods, buying whatever, but you took it upon yourself to go for your physical, for your personal gain, like what you do for your personal gain. It's all about what Sherrard can get and what Sherrard can do. Always been that way,
No, I
always
don't
was,
think so.
always was. Listen, I have it here.
People doing their personal.
Hang on,
I
hang
don't
on,
think
Mamie.
so.
Here's this one. Here's this one. You have yet, as a Board of Fire Commissioner, vote yes for a chief's car for East Franklin. You have yet to vote yes for a new apparatus for East Franklin. You vote no.
That's not true.
Oh, yes, it is.
No.
Oh, yes, it is. I got all the documentation, man. I've been here long enough that I know the policies better than you, just like the last
You
meeting.
wrote them.
What? Because I
They
wrote
benefit
them?
you. Yeah.
I
Why
have
didn't you?
policies. You don't.
Yeah.
Why,
You
but you're
don't.
the policy, you were the policy
Bring,
person last
bring
year.
that up again. You want to bring up policy? Well, 2 nights ago, we almost had an accident between 2 fire trucks. Because my fire trucks go to CO alarms, no lights, no sirens. They're driving down Franklin Boulevard, one behind the other. And the fire truck from community comes through the stop sign and gets in between 2 fire trucks with red lights and sirens on. That's appropriate? That makes
So you're
sense?
saying your guys never do anything? They don't run lights?
No, you're the policy guy. You're Mr.
Yeah.
Policy. My policy is no lights, no sirens. His policy is lights and sirens. Same fire trucks, same lettering, fire district on both sides, but different policies.
Incidentally, EMS is not allowed to ride lights and sirens in the state of New Jersey on a non-illness CO alarm, but 25 can ride lights and sirens.
The policy, I have the policy that's been adopted. The policy for emergencies,
Okay.
I have the policy for emergencies. A true emergency is lights and sirens. A CO alarm with no illness, or an elevator alarm is
Not.
not a true emergency. That's in your policy
Okay.
from 2017.
Are you
So-
done? So we
He
can
doesn't
move on,
rent the
please?
trucks
Yeah.
anymore, no.
All right, discussion
Thank
of
you,
questionable
whoever
bills.
said that. Mr. Move along.
Discussion of questionable bills. Bills received from the fire for the whole testing. Did anybody have an issue with that? Because I know there was an issue about the money to be paid, and they had a lot of problems with that.
Well, I wasn't informed except that there was, it was not conducted properly, it was not finished, and past that, I have no idea because a certain chief won't speak to me about the issues with it.
So do you suggest we don't pay?
I don't know anything about it, so I wasn't told.
If there was issues and stuff, why should we pay them? If there was a lot of problems, they should get paid.
That's all I'm aware, I don't know if anything was settled.
Yeah.
They didn't do it completely.
Okay.
Why do I have to ask? Who said that?
What was the problem?
Why do I have to ask? I wasn't there testing the hose. There was apparently a problem with it that Vinnie decided that I didn't need to know. The only part I know is that there was a problem with it.
So absent that comment, you as a board are sitting here now, responsible for authorizing paying these bills. Are you gonna resolve the issue, or are you just not
No,
gonna
I'm
pay
not,
this vendor
I'm
the
not,
bill?
I don't authorize payment of bills. I need more information on those bills. And all I was told was that there was a problem and it was not conducted thoroughly and completely. So that's why it's questionable, because it was not paid.
I can agree with there's a question on the bill. That's fine.
The problem came
But-
back to
but
the
what
district
is the
office.
problem?
I didn't know that,
And as-
because
Well,
nobody tells me.
It was brought back to the district office.
Okay,
As the board that's responsible
So,
for
it's
paying
questionable.
bills, are you just not gonna pay it?
until
Or are
I
you
get
gonna-
information, that's right, and I'm not tracking people
We'll
down.
discuss it.
Well,
I'm
you're
not
all right
tracking
here.
people
Just
down.
how about just ask the question? You're all right here.
It's right here, questionable bills.
Okay.
So that's all that's here, that's all the information I have.
Is it Chief Inzano who presented that question?
I have no idea.
Well, there was a problem with both fire companies, so why didn't the other fire company complain?
I did,
To who? To who?
to the guy who owned the company.
Well, that's what I complained to.
So was it
And
So
then I
did
finished?
you
brought
get
it,
it
and then I
resolved?
brought it to the district office and told
No,
them.
well, the district office is
The
not
guy
the
broke two
treasurer,
nozzles
so-
and he told me to take
Well, no,
pictures of them and send them to him, and he
the
bought me
district
two new
office
nozzles.
is the treasurer.
No, I'm the treasurer.
Yeah, but that's
And if
all,
I- no.
by default, you all.
No, if you come in here and tell the helmets up there that it wasn't finished and it wasn't conducted properly, the helmets don't talk to me.
Okay,
And that's the same with Vinny. He doesn't talk to me
I
because
agree with that.
he's upset or mad or has a problem with whatever.
But when it
I don't
comes
have
to
a
paying a
problem
vendor.
whatsoever. I
I'm
brought
still
the
not
problem
paying
back
it
here.
because I'm not tracking down 100-some people to find out whose cell phone got a cracked cover, whose hose testing went wrong, what uniforms or gear is not ordered properly when it was set up and they didn't show up. I'm not tracking people down. These are all adults in these
I
firehouses.
just think for the sake of expediency, the board as a whole is
We're not
here.
paying a bill that's questionable.
So
But
do you
don't-
think we should just
so
go
why
back
don't we
and
just
ask for a
what the
discount?
question is? and
Because of
resolve
all the
the
issues
issue?
that we had. Do
I
anybody
still
else think
don't
so?
know what the problem was, except that it was done incorrectly, it was not finished, and it unknown if it was resolved. I'm not going to a hose
Why isn't there a
testing.
form of written communication and email? Hose testing was completed, this failed, so on and so forth, so everybody has
There is.
transparency and everyone can see
There
it
is
in
a
a written
report.
form
Right.
and document it.
Hose testing was completed, there was issues.
I make a recommend both chiefs send an email of what was
A lot
broke.
of it's left out, I'm not saying.
I understand.
People are just
I
They
can
saying-
showed up at the end of the day,
I can
when
fill
they
the
got
puzzle
paid
in.
for the day to take the truck to
Excuse
get
us.
hose tested after we did. I was there,
The
I know,
treasurer
don't care,
is talking the floor. You should care.
don't care what you have to say,
That's the problem.
keep it pushing.
There we go.
This is the respect that we get from our.
This is the respect we get! This is the respect we get!
You thrash us all the hell time.
They're gonna leave if they keep this up.
Chief, excuse me, can I just say something?
No.
We
No,
have,
no,
yes,
no.
I'll wait for it. Because we are taxpayers, then you guys get to us,
But this is the thing, the taxpayers don't know about the meeting, so they never show up. It's always the fire department, so this is the type of stuff that goes on and you guys don't know about it. You get all this information last minute, and that's the way you get it. You hear people get excited, oh, they're gonna do this, it makes people excited. I would be the same way if I heard, oh, my fire department's getting shut down, but that was never the case.
It is so.
How are we supposed to?
Hey, come on.
No, you refuse to sign the contract.
What?
It's a 1-year contract. You refuse.
Oh, here
If
we
you
go.
come back next year and say, hey, this is why it didn't work, that didn't work, or whatever,
You're in
you can
violation
talk
of Title
about
40.
it.
You're in violation of state law.
You
Title 48.
should know that.
You were from the municipal service.
Question before the
My
board
attorney
is,
speaking.
It's a 10-minute meeting once a month.
Stop.
the question before you is whether this bill should be disputed with the vendor because they didn't do their job properly. It's now completed, but there was a mess before that. And you can go back to them and seek a discount. That's the only question.
Exactly. So I think so.
So then, yes, if it was incorrect and done improperly, unprofessionally, not completed during the time frame that we requested it to be completed, then yes, we should go back and request a discount or some kind of change or something to the bill. But as it stands, I didn't even know what was going on and how it was going on, so that's why it's under questionable bills.
Okay.
Okay. So we're all in agreement, we should go back, have a conversation, let them know the issues that we have and what can they do for us as far as that, because this is a lot of money. So, all right, reports of committees, maintenance.
You have a presentation of bills first.
I thought we did that. Oh,
Now, we have
I'm
a
sorry.
presentation of
Presentation of bills.
to be paid in the amount of $139,813.50.
And that number does not include the questionable bill you just discussed.
No.
Correct. So everybody's aware.
Can I have a motion to pay the bills? Have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Report of maintenance.
Nothing.
Hose testing was completed.
Yeah, we just discussed that. Equipment. Nothing. Training.
Spoke with Craig Miller in regards to the annual refreshing, so we sent out a message to both the chiefs so they can conduct that training. He also advised me that he found the 4 mannequins and that we just need to purchase the uplifting components for these mannequins. So once he gets me the quote over, I will review it and make that purchase. We'll be moving to, he's been really busy, so we've agreed to meet bi-weekly via Zoom. So we can conduct training and schedule them accordingly.
Insurance. Liaison for Franklin Township Fire Prevention. I have nothing. Safety.
There was a letter that was sent to us that I think we should go into, closed session to discuss, because it has people's names in it.
Okay.
So if I can move that.
So we'll move that.
Yeah, I'll
closed
move that
session.
to close.
Okay. CAD.
The reports are being empty.
Awards Committee.
There's nothing, it's not that time.
Bylaws. Nothing at this time. Low staff.
I have nothing.
Junior membership. Policies and procedures. Nothing at this time. Unfinished business. Nothing.
I would like just a brief note in unfinished business.
Okay.
Alan Latanzio, who is our insurance broker in the town, has 2 buildings within the town, so he pays quite the taxes. Basically, he sent a letter that comes down to, by hiring per diems, it's gonna cost 8 to 10 times in taxes to the residents of District 3 than what it does right now. And an example of that would be, if you're paying $1 in taxes today, hiring per diems is gonna cost you $10. And that does not factor in government taxes, health insurance or benefits, new positions that will need to be created and filled, including manager, facility maintenance, service contracts, and anything else that falls under what is taken care of by volunteers. Plus, the overtime cost in that is not even considered in his $1 to $10 ratio of increase. So if those per diems are at a fire and they get stuck there, and they've already reached, I think the law says 37.5 hours, that overtime starts at that 37.5 hours, and that's him basing that at $20 per hour per diem pay. Per diems in firefighters do not make 20, it's more like $34 to $37 an hour. So the overtime cost for that is not even included in his numbers. That's it.
Thank you. New business. The office will be closed and working fully remote starting July 16th. Treasurer's report.
But before that, you had a request from ladder 25, engine 3. I don't think you took action on that. That was in communications.
For
Cover station 26 and 15. Chief mentioned it in his report. Yeah, I don't think you took
I
action.
thought yeah. Oh, okay.
So you either have to approve it or sign.
Yeah, we can say yes.
No for me.
Anyone else?
For the what, I'm sorry?
For
For
report.
request,
To
receive
take the
request
ladder?
for ladder 25 to cover station 27 on June 15th.
And that was
26.
on
What's that? 26.
Yeah, they're gonna cover us all with weather.
You're gonna cover us, they're gonna cover you while you cover us.
They can't cover this town, why should they cover another district?
Okay.
You're gonna call for
I have a motion.
Where do I get the redo?
For, to accept that?
We'll get a roll call. That's better.
you need a motion to accept.
Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to
Accept.
accept, that's for the ladder 25 to cover.
Engine 3, yes.
So engine 3 at station 25 on June 15.
26.
26.
Oh, it says 15.
This is
Station.
Only have 7.
A second.
26. Roll call.
Commissioner Ferretti,
No.
Commissioner Reed,
Yes.
Commissioner Mattel,
Yes.
Commissioner Braxton,
Yes.
and Chairman Middleton.
Yes. Okay, now on to new business. Office will be closed and working fully remote starting July 16th. Treasurer's report.
We have budgeted $2,329,888. We have spent $627,159.82. We have encumbered $74,215.49 with a balance of $1,628,512.69. We have a truck reserve of $3,800.44 and a dedicated training penalty account of $17,516.72. Our LoSAP account is sitting at $121,065.26, and funds set aside to cover future health cost of health benefits for retired employee is $163,197.16.
Can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
Before the motion, to correct the record, the numbers on the truck reserve account, the dedicated training account were, swapped. So the dedicated training account has the 17,000 plus. I'm sorry, the dedicated training has the 3,800, and the truck reserve has the 17,500 plus.
Can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report with the change?
I make a motion, we accept the treasurer's report with the change what the attorney, suggested.
That's it.
All in favor?
Are you gonna,
We'd
do
like
you do
to,
anything on the new business about who's gonna be in charge of the boats, or you
do
just
you
gonna
have
sell
a
them?
motion, to open public portion?
I'll make a motion to have an open public portion at 8:05 p.m.
Second?
Second.
Okay, public portion is now open. Step up to the podium, Jim.
Members of the public wanting to make public comment or recognize that for 3 minutes at a time, you're not allowed to yield your time. Please start with your name and address for the record.
Jim Wickman, 12 Darwin Road, Somerset. I'm also a commissioner and treasurer in Fire District Number 1 and a former chairman. The reason I want to speak is pretty simple, that clearly there is an issue here. I'm a board member. I appreciate the board's issues and concerns. As a firefighter, and again, I haven't answered a fire call in 10 years, but I'm active in the fire companies. I appreciate the fire companies' concerns. So we'll keep that level. I don't have a dog in that fight. But this issue, I'm here because this issue has wide-ranging effects on Franklin Township. Okay, as the largest, busiest fire district in the township that neighbors your fire district, I cannot help but think this will affect us. And we, like everybody else, are strapped for manpower and call response, et cetera, to start concerning ourselves and planning for what if happens, if this does or does not resolve itself, is concerning to us. Okay? And we will be working separately. We're not involved in the discussion. We don't want to know, well, we do want to know how it works out, but we don't have a side. Our issue is the protection of the residents of Franklin Township. That's what they give us money to do. So we need to stay focused on that. And I hope that this resolves itself so we don't have to engage ourselves in all of these issues. We have our issues, everybody has their issues. We need to focus on ours. We are available, we are ready, but we hope it doesn't come to that. So I implore all of the sides in this argument, you need to get it right, sort of right, or good enough. Because taking a fire company out of this township in one district, doesn't matter which district, you take a fire company out of this township, it has a terrible effect on the rest of the township. And the taxpayers don't deserve that. So I implore both sides, please, figure this thing out. You need to. It's not about us. It's not about board members, and I speak as a board member. It's never about us. The fire companies, it's about them, but it's about them, us, taking care of the taxpayers. That's our job. We have two mandates. The taxpayers give us the money. We are legally responsible for managing the taxpayers' millions of dollars. That's number one. Tied for number one, or 1A and 1B, is these firefighters need to stay safe. They need to come home. We can't mess with that. So it has to work both ways, guys. Please, we implore you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Good evening, Commissioners. Jesse Rosario, East Franklin, live at 10 Coral Street, Edison. I live out of town, you know, because I love serving the community of Franklin. It really is my passion, firefighting, you know. But I got a question for you, Janet.
This is a public comment period.
Public?
Not a question and answer.
I can't ask any questions?
You can ask, but there's no guarantee you get answers.
All right. So, what are the diameters of the speedways on ladder 27? How many feet are each line? Since you guys are the commissioners, you should know this question.
Yeah, public comment period.
Have a good evening.
My name is Lawrence Philip McCoy, a resident of Catherine Township for about 20 years now. I say thank you to the previous speaker. That was exactly my concern. You know, it's like, to me, like, we started getting worried because the Word of God says, how can two walk together except they agree? You know, this involved us, but it involved the firefighters also. I believe our concern here is for them to live, when they leave their family, they go out for them to return safely. At the same time, when we call, if team A is not able to respond, let team B be able to respond. If they are together, it will be easier. So my own plea here as I join in, whatever you guys can do for 25 and 27, because all we are here is just numbers, to work together in the interest of the taxpayers and all of us here. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Suzanne Marasco. I'm an attorney with the firm of Hill Wallach. I work in Princeton, New Jersey, and I represent East Franklin Volunteer Fire Department, and I'm here to speak on their behalf. Some of you know me, some of you don't, but I have been trying to engage counsel for the fire district now since March 22nd to talk about the contract terms, which are in dispute. Contrary to what Chairman Middleton has said, is we were given a contract, your fire company was given a contract which had take it or leave it terms. I have on no less than 6 occasions have attempted to communicate with Mr. Morris about the contract terms and to discuss what is fair for both parties. All of those requests were either ignored or rejected. So there was no dialogue between your legal counsel or this fire district with respect to the terms that would be fair for both parties. In fact, none of my terms were addressed in any way whatsoever. They were just simply told, nope, we're not going to accept them, you sign the contract as is. The contract is notably significantly different than what it was in 2023. While it is for one term, the contract does change material provisions about policy writing, and respectfully, I respect all of the work that you do, but the majority of you, I think 5 of you or 4 of you, are not firefighters. 1 of you is not an active firefighter, and respectfully, we have to defer to the expertise of our fire chiefs and our fire executive and line officers for their knowledge about how to operate firematic activities and provide fire services to your community. So the provision that has created much of this controversy relates to the fire district's requests or attempts to dictate what that policy is without regard to any input or feedback from your fire companies. And all that your fire companies have asked are that let's collaborate. Give us some notice about what those provisions or changes or bylaws or resolutions are going to be, and let's discuss them before you enact them to make sure that they're fair and safe for both parties. So for you to say that this fire company has not attempted to communicate, to have a dialogue about what the contract terms should be or what's right or fair for both parties is simply inaccurate. And I have letter after letter that I personally wrote to Mr. Morris. And the only letter I got, actually I got 2 communications from Mr. Morris. First was in response to my request to get the contract in Word format so I could edit it, redline. He told me that he was not authorized to send me a Word version of the document, so I had to have my IT department convert it. The second communication was back in May, whereby
Aren't the phones supposed to be off during the meeting?
whereby he indicated that the fire district was going to take apparatus and all of the supplies and equipment that your fire company needs to perform firematic services. So to say to these taxpayers that you are not going to shut down the fire company as of June 30th is simply inaccurate. Unless Mr. Morris didn't really mean what he said to me on the paper. And to get one last point about per diems. Know what you're getting into. And aside from the cost of the per diems to pay them hourly and overtime, there are legal requirements that per diem public employees are required. They're entitled to benefits, they're entitled to pension payments, they're entitled to overtime, and there also are restrictions with respect to who can serve as a per diem firefighter. You cannot have an 18-year-old or a 20-year-old, or maybe even a 40-year-old. So you will see a significant reduction in your firefighting source or resources if you convert to a per diem method.
I don't mean to be rude, but, you know, as an attorney, you know, we did let you go over a little bit so they can hear.
She can have my
I didn't want to be.
She can have my time.
That is a rule, Commissioner Middleton, that you are unilaterally enacting to shut down the voice of this fire company. I have been to plenty of public sessions where other attendees have voluntarily given, without objection from either the council or commissioners, to give the time to someone who had more to say. I'm not here wasting time, I'm not yelling at you, I'm not name calling, and I'm being extremely respectful.
Now you're taking time away from her by not letting her speak.
Time's already expired.
I give her my time, my 3 minutes.
But you can, George, and you're misstating the requirements to this audience. You can, you're choosing not to, there's a difference.
You're just missing the residents.
Here to heartbeat.
This isn't about cameras
Thank you, sir.
in fire apparatus.
Not
My
entirely.
discussions with Mr. Morris about the cameras related to the invasion of privacy during
Again, we did say 3 minutes, you did agree with it, so now you're going beyond your 3 minutes. So I would really appreciate it.
The resident wants to hear her.
The resident wants to hear her.
The resident wants to hear her.
All of a sudden now, just like now 3 minutes?
Let them say something outside. But thank you, appreciate
If
it.
you're a taxpayer resident, if you
I am
want to
absolutely a
finish, raise your
taxpayer,
hand.
and my question
Here's all the taxpayers that want to
Where
ask.
you go?
No, he wants her to keep talking, he wants to hear her.
I'm a taxpayer, thank you. Hi. Hello, everyone. My name is Kim. I'm 199 Burton Street. I've been a resident of Franklin Township for about 18 years. I raised my children here and everything. As a taxpayer, to hear some of these things, it's disturbing. To hear that a firefighter can have a drink 4 hours before, going to work. Is that what you said, Chief?
Yeah.
That is, to me, that's alarming. I'm a 54-year-old woman. I raised my children are grown, and I know it takes a little bit of time, more time, if you out partying. You know what I'm saying? 4 hours, that sounds, scary. They should be safe, because that's not safe for them, the firefighters, and of course, it's not, safe for us. I hope that you really consider meeting with the fire chief after this to consider, because it's our tax money. Consider that. I'm a taxpayer, and I'm asking you to sit down and discuss this, because to as a commissioner, to say that you're gonna take the equipment away because he won't sign the contract, it's gotta be an answer in there, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to, I'm just taking your equipment away. And that, to me as a taxpayer, sounds like you shutting it down, because how can they work without that? So I hope you listen to me as a taxpayer, that you reconsider some of these things that's on the table, because it makes sense to me as a taxpayer what the chief is asking. So please just consider, meeting again and going over these things.
They never
That's
met
why I
once.
asked.
Meeting in
They
general.
never showed up.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
How you doing? My name is Dan Lawson. I am a resident, 43 Shelley Drive. Been a resident of District 3 now for over about 15 years plus. Resident of Franklin Township for 35 plus years, born and raised here for the most part. I am a 32-year firefighter, Franklin District 1. Past chief and current chief of the Middlewich Volunteer Fire Department. I'm not here as the chief of the Middlewich Volunteer Fire Department in whole. Impartial because this is my RIT team. This is the guys that I depend if one of my guys get in trouble. Okay? I've worked with 25 and 27 for 30 years. I know guys on both sides. Both departments, in my eyes, are good departments. But this is a case where it just seems like, this this bantering back and forth, you guys aren't getting anywhere, okay? I do have one question, on the budget that I voted on and voted yes for. I believe there was a capital appropriations of, I got it here, it's $475 towards squad replacement. Now, being involved again with the fire district, I understand the delay in ordering the fire apparatus right now is costing us a lot of money. My question is, where is that money and how much longer are we gonna have to wait? Because as it is now, we're already, what, $22,000 higher than what it was from a couple of months ago? That's money coming out of my pocket, you know? So I would just like to know where you guys at with this, and where's the money, and is it being put towards the squad like it's supposed to be? Thank you.
It actually goes up $400,000 on
It will,
July
yeah,
24th.
it's gonna go up even more. And right now, they're not getting any less.
Hello, my name is Mary Vanessa. I'm 49 Donald Avenue here in Somerset. I've been a resident for 27 years. This is one of my first meetings here, and what I see is it looks like it's personal. What you need to do is an independent mediator that could come in and not take your side, not take their side, and work on the issues. I didn't hear anybody talking about issues. I hear you talking about each other, and that's not how you handle a problem. You can't talk of each other, you have to talk only of the issues. So that's what my suggestion is, and having looked at the numbers, in Fire District 3, we, the people who pay that money, pay more than any other fire district in town. So this is not working for me. And I'm also a voter, and I see all of your names. It doesn't work for me. If you're working on my behalf, then what I saw here doesn't work. You need to resolve it. Thank you.
I think you should run first.
I'll walk around for you. I'll walk around for you.
My name is Rich Sprader, I'm from Hillsborough, New Jersey. I'm the former chief and now deputy chief of Hillsborough Fire Company Number 2, Station 37. Like the gentleman from District 1 said, I think this is a very complicated issue between the two sides here. But where I take it personally is that fire departments across New Jersey, the country, Somerset County are having a hard time getting members out. As a chief, I run incident command. The most important thing to me is life safety, whether it be the residents or my firefighters. Because of department scratching, I just ran a command about a month or so ago. Half the units on the first and second alarm scratched. I actually had the mutual aid coordinator standing next to me. He said, I can get 27 here as a writ right now. Immediately said, get them here right now. I've got a house that's on fire in the basement, Division 1, hoarding conditions. PD just made one grab, saved a woman's life. There might be more people in the building. My guys want to go in and make a search. I can't let them, because I don't have the resources on scene. Other departments, you know, if you're not familiar with RIT, there's some fire members here. It's the one resource I have as a chief that I guarantee my members in order to keep them safe, without them trying to do self-rescue themselves, and that's not the primary goal here. So from a firematic perspective, you have the potential to impact somebody's life in a very negative way, whether it be the resident, their family, the firefighter. What really struck me the most is hearing that you're going to pull potential fire services out of District 3 from the residents, and also how that has downstream effects in terms of firefighters. You folks lived it. We still teach it, Kevin's lesson, to our firefighters out of Fire 1.
Absolutely.
After every graduation class. I'm not saying that a RIT team could have saved the world, or could have saved him given the fit conditions on that fire, but they did help other firefighters. And that's what we guarantee people. That's our job, that's my commitment to my son, to my guys. You're gonna take that away because of conflict of personalities? That's not okay. It's not okay with me, it's not okay with the residents, I'm sure it's not okay with you. I know it's not what you want to do, so I implore you to take that off. Now, I'm not saying you said it, or the attorney said it, or it wasn't said, but it's certainly in a letter that was given to the district, to the fire company attorney and the chief. So I would ask, as a chief in this county, that if you can make any decision tonight, it's that comes off the table. The trucks do not get pulled out of here at the end of the month. You can continue to work on this, have an extension, go to mediation, do whatever you need to do. Do not take fire services away from my guys or the residents. That is not acceptable, it's not okay. And I happen to work in risk management. As your attorney could say, something happens and something goes wrong because you voluntarily pulled services from a department that can respond, they're gonna come after you.
My name's Phil Pistato. My address, 84 Almond Street. You know where that is? Staten Island. I know. Everyone's wondering, why am I here? I'll tell you why. I was a volunteer fireman for 9 years in Brick. Moved to New York. About a year ago, I was like, you know what, I want to get back into the service. And I looked everywhere I could. That man right there, he gave me a chance. He brought me in. Everybody in that corner, that's my family. And you're going to sit here and you're going to try to shut us down? You're going to stop me from doing something? Let me tell everyone, I don't pay taxes. You know what I pay? I give up my life if I have to save someone. And you're going to take this fire company away from us? Shame on you and shame on everyone else. Don't sit there and say, oh, we're not going to do that. Yeah, you're going to do that. Go ahead. Take something away that I enjoy and everyone else in this room enjoys. Don't sit there and say, oh, we're going to have community and everyone else. I can say some bad words, but I'm going to be polite. And don't look at me with that smirk on your face. And I was going to ask a question, but you know what? You're not going to answer it for me. So you know what? Shame on you. I'm done.
Like you.
That's right. Oh, I did drink.
My name's Anthony Vittori. I live at 26 Connolly Road, Somerset. I've been a resident at that location for almost 10 years. If you notice, I'm wearing scrubs. I'm an occupational therapist practitioner. In my field, I deal with firemen all the time, whether they're current or retired. And I will tell you this right now, from what I read in the letter stating all the various points, one of them was that the incident commander had to be in full SCBA gear. I can tell you right now, some of the guys that I've dealt with have told me that they said part of their issue, why they had a knee replacement, hip replacement, spinal fusions, was because of having to lug that gear, lug those hoses up and down, whether it's training or on site. Another thing that I had an issue with that I noticed was that the cameras were going to be on so you could hear everything within the confines of the trucks and the officers' vehicles. In my field, I deal with HIPAA, which is basically the healthcare. Basically, if I mention anything about any of my patients and it gets out to somebody in the public, I lose my job. So the confines of that area is for people to vent, get their issues out while they're on their runs, not while they're just driving around with the sirens off. So that's a bit of an issue for me. One of the things that I noticed as a resident, my daughter does Taekwondo down at 1067 Easton Avenue. I was there Friday night when the nursing home went up, and I saw how quickly East Franklin showed up. They showed up before anybody else's from what I noticed. Yep. It took me an hour to get out of that parking lot. And I noticed East Franklin, Somerset, I noticed Boundbrook, who my boss's son is the chief of Boundbrook, and he responded to it, and he was just twiddling his thumbs out Friday night. That being said, my biggest concern at this point is, if you really want to push certain issues, this was the one thing that really made me laugh. 4 hours. If I showed up to work having an alcoholic drink within 4 hours of showing up for my job, I would be fired and lose my license as a practitioner in this state and my national certification. So if somebody's showing up having had a drink, whether it was a sip, a beer, or a glass of wine within 4 hours, that's a problem. Because if I screw up at work and somebody dies, I'm going to jail. Somebody here shows up to a fire, drops a line, drops a person, or just falls down and ends up dying in the middle of a fire, that's a problem for me, and that's a problem, should be a problem for everybody. So that being said, I'm going to yield whatever time I have left. You guys do your job. You showed up to my neighbor's house when a lightning strike happened, and they were there before, you guys were there before Somerset showed up, and the only reason Somerset's one officer showed up was because it was his brother's house. And he showed up in his Somerset officer's vehicle because he was able to take it home with him. not have to run back to the station, pick it up, and then go, delaying time, so. Oh, and by the way, I was born and raised in Pennsylvania, where the majority of the fire departments in Pennsylvania are volunteer. Not, and only in cities do you see paid firemen. Thank you.
Hi, it's my first time here in this building. However, I'm Bonnie Stoveny. I live off of JFK on Renfro, and I grew up in Franklin Township. I've been here 73 years. Never been in this building, but I can tell you the fire department, very important. I mean, I've been around when they've gone after lost kids. I've gone after, when Betty Scott passed, I saw that the father was here of the fireman that was lost.
Yeah, they probably didn't know who he was.
At any rate, I'm here to support the fire department and to say that you cannot shut them down, because I live someplace where it's going to definitely affect. And as you can see, it's not like I'd be able to get out of my house very quickly. I'm going to need you guys. And they were there when my husband had Parkinson's. I support them financially through my taxes as much as I can. I also donate. And I don't see why this group here can't meet with this group here and have an arbitration. Don't you dare shut this place down. Do not, because I will come after you.
Wesley the Nest. I live on 49 Donald Avenue, right across the street from the firehouse. These guys, they answer the call. I hear those fire trucks leave every time there's a call. What I want to talk about is Somerset has boundaries, but we're growing vertically. It's a big mistake to get rid of a fire company, because that's one less fire truck or a company that can help when there's an emergency. Because people are living over top of one another. So these are lives that we're talking about. These guys, they sacrifice their lives to do the rescues. And what we need to do is start working together. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Good evening, Board of Fire District 3 Commissioners. My name is Mark Russo. I've been a member of this fire department for 17 years. I live at 1309 Washington Valley Road in Bridgewater, New Jersey. Also a chief of the Warren Township Fire Department and a career captain of the Township of Springfield. I just want to read a little something to you guys, and I want you to see if you remember where it's from. As first responders to fires and emergencies, the mission of Fire District Number 3 is to provide Franklin Township fire quality emergency service through education, training, and dedication towards the common goal of preservation of lives and property of the residents and visitors. Sorry, I lost my spot here. Within timely delivering, committed to quality, meeting challenges, and accepting accountabilities, we are all able to maintain our focus and not be compromised. Through education of our residents, we will promote fire prevention and safety. Our community deserves our best efforts and will receive nothing less. Through professionalism and relentless improvement, we will continue to meet these goals. Just want to remind you all, you swore to the oath, that's your mission statement. Please live up to it.
My name's Sue Connolly. I'm the Deputy Fire Chief in Denellen. Address is 19 Andrew Street, and I live in Greenbrook. I volunteer in Middlesex County, and I live in Somerset County. This is Somerset County Department, and even though these two departments do not directly come mutually to me, I have worked with a lot of them on scenes because we all do come together. I just want to stand up here and make 2 recommendations to you. One, it sounds like you need somebody to write policies for you. Somebody who doesn't sit on this board, somebody who doesn't sit and answer the calls, but somebody to meet in the middle who's a neutral party. Somebody who knows firematics, who can see your side, who can see their side, and work as a mediator for you two to come together. Because I got wind of this probably about a week ago, and from what I've read and what I've listened tonight, it's just a sheer miscommunication, and I think somebody neutral would work out well. I know other fire districts that have this position. They're part-time positions, and they don't pay a lot per year. My second recommendation would be to extend the June 30th date, because obviously that is only 2-3 weeks away, and nothing is going to be resolved in there. To take a fire company out of service or have the right to take that out of service and waive that over the resident's head, I don't think is fair, and I would look to at least extend it 30 days so all parties can meet and work on this. Thank you.
Mika White, President East Franklin, reside at 27 Day Place in Edison. So on May 14th, which was the last meeting, afterwards I was dealing with some personal business. I was sitting in my car outside with the windows open, and apparently the commissioners, when they finished, did not notice I was sitting out there, and I overheard a conversation between Commissioner Middleton and Commissioner Ferretti, where Commissioner Middleton was essentially barking and raising his voice towards her, making demands, demanding that she see his side, and making personal vendetta statements about Chief Krasinski, and that he was continuously going to just use strong arm tactics. He further talked about getting rid of anybody who is associated with East Franklin Fire Department, from Craig Miller as the training officer to Alan Latanzio, who is an insurance broker, to Joe Inzerillo, whose company, which he does not own, but handles fire extinguishers for the district. Anyone associated with East Franklin and Chief Krasinski was going to be gotten rid of. He further stated that he's tired of Danny getting his way, as he always gets what he wants and pushes his agenda. So it sounds to me from the conversation I personally overheard that this is a personal vendetta against Chief Krasinski. So I asked the board to think about what's being said between each other, and that it shouldn't be about personal agendas, it should be about what's right for the residents. Thank you.
My name is John Casal. I live at 57 Irvington Avenue, Somerset, New Jersey. I'm a lifelong resident of this town, born in St. Peter's Hospital. I know many, many, many people in this room, and there's a lot of people that I don't know. Hey, Danny, I couldn't have picked you out of the lineup, but I've heard a lot about you. All right? But I've heard a lot about you. All right? I am a taxpayer. All right? I was always under the impression that the Board of Commissioners was in place to manage the money that the township provided to the districts to assist the chiefs in doing their job. And after reading some of the notes, some of the bullet points of the things that you want to change in the contract, I don't see that happening. I see it as, you're going to do what I say or else. That's not the way this is supposed to run. And I don't appreciate my tax dollars being used like that. Let them do their jobs. I've heard things about both of these chiefs. They're both great guys. They're both excellent chiefs. He has his styles. He has his. Let them run. If one house wants to agree to a contract, let them agree.
If another house wants to not agree to that contract, figure out another contract. They don't have to match. But to threaten to pull the apparatus from the firehouse, I know you own it, but I'm just saying, to threaten to pull the apparatus out of the firehouse is ridiculous. I've said my piece as a taxpayer. I don't want to say anything to upset any of my friends. As a little boy, there's a guy back there, his name is Butch. I used to watch him. I used to sit at Betty Jean's luncheonette. I used to sit there and watch him. I've known him since I was this big. I don't want to upset him. I know what house he belongs to. I work with a commissioner's son. It's on my shirt. I don't want to piss people off. I'm a taxpayer, though. And you guys are supposed to help these guys, those guys, fight fires and save lives. Don't you remember when you rode?
I do.
So help them. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Alan R. Latanzio. I'm sure many of you know the last name. Many of you know my father. I know a bunch of you here know who I am. I'm not here to talk as anything but a fireman. I'm captain on East Franklin. I've been on East Franklin for 11 years. I've been around East Franklin since I was born, and I could fit in a fire helmet. I don't know where in the entire process of this we lost sight of the fact that we, all of us, 25, 27, 37s here, there are other fire departments here, whether we want to admit it or not, are in the customer service industry. And this entire process, for whatever reason, the customer has been just completely disregarded. The customer being the taxpayers of Franklin Township, not just this side of Franklin Township, the other side of Franklin Township. The taxpayers of North Brunswick, you guys go to North Brunswick as mutual aid. The taxpayers of Piscataway, the taxpayers of Bound Brook. There's more than just one area that we cover. There's more than just one group that we go to and that we help to. There are people that were up here that were talking about how they saw our fire trucks there. They saw our departments there. There is a large group of people that are dependent on what we do. And I know that you know this because you were a fireman. Volunteer firefighting is dying. It is a dying breed. But unfortunately, so is a lot of the buzzwords that get thrown around. Brotherhood, family, all that other stuff. Right now they're just getting thrown around for buzzwords. And I personally do not see the reason for it. I do not see the understanding for it. We have a responsibility to other fire departments. We have a responsibility to other firemen. We have a responsibility to residents, now, past, present, future. I don't know the political side of things. I don't pretend to. I know what's out there. I know what my job is. I know who my people are. I know the people that I'm supposed to protect. I know the people that every January when we go to dinner, I raise my right hand because I say I'm going to lead these men to protect these people. Why did we lose sight of that all of a sudden? Why just all of a sudden are we so focused on everybody having personal agendas that we just want to shut things down? I don't understand it personally. I don't. Because at the end of the day, there are people mixed in here with firemen that are our customers. Our customers are who we are here for. Our customers are who we are supposed to be serving. And I hate to break it to you, but there's a lot more customers coming. There's a lot more buildings going on. There's a lot more everything going on. So why can't we just take all this opportunity to sit, finally talk to everybody, talk this through, work this out? We have the opportunity to be one of the best fire districts in the state, if not the East Coast. We have that opportunity. Don't squander.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ryan Creer. I live in Hillsborough, 369 Homestead Road. I'm a member in Hillsborough as well, with Station 37 and East Franklin, Station 27. and I'm a graduate student at Rutgers University, too. So we know volunteerism is a dying breed, right? I see it back home. It's hard to get people, and we have a combination staff where it's career firemen and volunteer firemen. And it's been going downhill ever since. And that's just the breed of volunteerism today. You, as the fire district number 3 of Franklin Township, have something extraordinary with volunteerism. If you look around the state, I can't even name another township or fire district that puts out the numbers that we do on a duty crew throughout the week. We've got over 40 active members going to fires. You're getting a truck on the road every single time. Why? Because the bar is set. Put out. Firemen, fuck up. Do your job. Right? Don't have your tail between your legs. Kick the fucking door in and let's go. And we got that fucking momentum going. And you're gonna shut that down? Bull fucking shit.
It's gonna be hard to follow that one. I'm Mary Quayback. I live in North Brunswick. My former name was Krasinski. That guy right there is my father. And I'm gonna point my hand at you. You have a personal vendetta. And with you, I had to walk around for hours and hours and hours to help you get elected, right? And what are you doing for these guys? These guys all walked around for you, okay? I have been at the firehouse since I was 5 years old. Probably been to more commissioner meetings than you have been to. I know all this shit, the per diem. These guys, they're my cousins, my father, my husband, my friends. And you're gonna just stick random people together and expect that they're gonna put out fires? What if there's a working house fire and a kid dies? You're gonna feel good about yourself? Are you? And also, sorry Chantel, love you. But I think you're a community guy should maybe stop worrying about who I'm hanging out with or who she's hanging out with at Stage House and worry about getting the trucks out for fire calls.
How you doing? My name is Michael Stark. I live at 1 JFK Boulevard in Somerset. I've been a resident for 11 years now. I've been on both sides, and that's not what this is about. I'm asking you if you could figure out some type of plan and not shut East Franklin down. And I'm not saying that because I'm a member of East Franklin. I'm saying that because I live in this district. If something happens to my family, if I'm not home, I'm not able to respond to the firehouse, or that firehouse is shut down, you're putting a huge liability to cutting more than half of being able to come to respond to put that, to take care of that emergency. And so I'm asking you to sit down and either extend it, because they all have that right to have protection, as myself, since I live in the fire district. All right, and if you don't do that, that's a problem. Do you care about the residents of Fire District 3? I'm asking you a question. Are you going to answer that question?
No, we're residents too, Mike.
Okay,
So,
I'm asking that, are you going to answer that question?
this is good.
All
Why
of
would we put
all of
ourselves
you,
in
all of
that?
you, are you
We
going to
don't
answer
have to.
that? You don't have to answer that question?
I'll answer for everybody.
Well, half of them aren't even paying attention to this whole meeting, so it doesn't matter. Thank you for
You're
asking.
staring at me, and I walked around for you,
Exactly. Nice.
right?
Sit
Right?
there with the plus face.
Do you have an answer or no? You're just gonna stare at me.
Yes, you did, because we were on the same ballot.
If you guys want to shut down this firehouse and put all the lives in this district in jeopardy, then you, and you, Mr. Retired Police Officer, are a disgrace.
just clear because there's no reason I really have to be here today for this department personally. I'm only here because every time I've heard East Franklin come up in conversation amongst my fellow firefighters and EMTs, I've only heard the utmost amazing things about this department. They have a reputation for being one of the finest departments, not just the county, but also in the state. And when I heard and read the news articles about this happening, the possibility of them getting shut down, I know that whatever you had said, I'm not going to accuse you of anything, but the possibility of them getting shut down to me is really concerning because the reputation they hold and everything I've heard about them, the fact that they don't just make calls, but they do a great job. I've heard every person I've talked to has said these guys are experienced, they know what they're doing. When they go in for a writ, they're not just there to, just stand around and do nothing, but they get to work and they do a good job. If I was in a fire right now and these guys were outside, I would have the utmost confidence that I would be safe because I know that they know what they're doing. And like I said, I don't know any of these guys at all. I'm just here because, I drove 30 minutes here because I don't want to see a department get shut down. Not just any department, but one of the finest in our county and in the state. And that to me is something I'm fighting for.
Amen.
Thank you.
My name is Bernie Marquez. I live 10 Lake Street, New Brunswick. I used to be a member of North Brunswick. I left there because I took a ride down to East Franklin to see how that department is run. Not because he is my chief. When you have a chief that gets up for every night call and does everything for his guys, is very respectful. You have captains, lieutenants that get up for night calls and respond. If you call 911, would you guys want somebody to show up, at least a chief or somebody? Residents?
Yes.
I left there because of that reason. We used to have a working house fires, and if we had 5 people, that was a lot. I took a ride to East Franklin, they had a call, we had a CO alarm. There was 15 people for a CO alarm. That tells you a big difference. I know there's a lot of departments here. Anybody know what RIT team is? The mutual aid companies that are here? I have Room Market, I have Findern here, South Amboy, North Brunswick's over here. You guys know what RIT is? How many hours for team is a firefighter supposed to have for being an active RIT member?
Short answer.
Anybody answer?
Don't even know how many hours fire one is.
24 hours.
It's kind of inappropriate that they'll have a hand on their face.
My guys, we train at least once a month to 3 times a month on a RIT training. I have guys that have been to Long Island, I have guys that have been to Virginia for classes, and they bring something back to teach everybody else to protect not only the residents, but other members that we go mutual aid to. So maybe you guys should think about things again.
Lisa Krasinski, Nassau Street, North Brunswick. How much do you make a year? 9,000?
$8,160.
For how many meetings a year?
12.
12. How much do you make a year?
I have to go to fire calls to get my money.
How much?
4,000, 5,000.
Vinny, how much do you make a year?
And risk their lives.
For putting up with all this shit. You come here, Janet, I've been here, you pounded the gavel. I want this meeting over in 10 minutes. I'm glad these residents are here. Maybe they'll come and run against you next year, Mr. Personality, because you have so much to say about my family. I hate you. I'm not gonna pussyfoot around anybody. You're a jerk off. I'm saying it to her face, because I'm a straight shooter. And you know what? You're my husband's employer. We're gonna sue your ass. Because you do everything to make it miserable for him. Okay? And it's personal. And it's gonna end tonight.
It seems more personal to me.
No. Because you know what? For 24 years, no, wait, for 24 years, I've done this, okay? We've buried somebody, we've taken care of his parents and everything else. This district didn't even send flowers.
They don't even know when he
You
passed
don't
away.
even know what it's about. We walked around for you in shitty cold weather and everything else for you, and you gonna sit here and have no respect for these people, these guys that walked for you? You're a disgrace. You don't even know what it's about. You don't even probably know what a fire truck is. You're stupid. You're an idiot.
Madam Dean, North Brunswick Township. It seems to me that you're doing a disservice not only to the township or the residents of this township, but you're also doing it to your volunteers, the people that are actually getting out of their house at night, while their families are eating or walking out of the house, okay? Leaving work early, okay? The individuals that are doing it for you, the ones that you're supposed to be protecting, that you're supposed to be taking care of. It just doesn't make any sense. You're also doing a disservice to other municipalities, like other gentlemen had said. East Franklin community, they come into North Brunswick. We come into East Franklin, or we come and stand by at East Franklin, we also stand by at communities. It just doesn't make any sense. Come to a logical agreement, okay? You don't have to like each other, you just have to work with each other. And that's what it's all about. You're getting paid good money to sit back there, and what are you doing? What are you doing for the residents of Franklin? Nothing, obviously. I mean, I just don't get it.
Hi, everybody. My name is John Delgado, ex-chief of the South Inwood Fire Department. I got 44 years as a volunteer there, 25 years in Sayreville, and 15, 20 years in Madison Park. I do 3 fire companies. This fire department, this township is phenomenal. I don't even know why we're even here. When I heard about this, I couldn't believe it, that a district is going to go after fire companies, or a fire company going after districts. You're jeopardizing everything. I'd give anything to have a fire company like East Franklin. These guys, 27. Well, I needed help in South Amboy last year. I couldn't find a fire company in Middlesex County. Danny reached out to 25. 25 sent an engine to my town and helped us. We were like, wow, Somerset County. Everybody looks up to these guys. I've done it. I'd give anything to be a member here and stuff. Come over here and volunteer, the training, the camaraderie. I come here on a Thursday night to see these guys, to do their stuff in the firehouse. It's a family. And by looking at what you see here, there's your family. My dad was a cop. He asked me, why didn't you become a cop? I said, I want to be a fireman. The biggest camaraderie, the friendship I've made with these guys, these people, their daughters, their friends. And it's your job. We don't have commissioners. I have a mayor and a council. Little 8,000 people in South Amboy. And as a chief, I got so much done by listening to Danny at times. He'd give me advice. I come here to see what goes on here. It's just like, God forbid, like people say, if somebody gets killed or something happens, you don't want it on your chest, your shoulders, or your memories. Something goes down here tonight that you could have worked out. Maybe just put bygones by bygones and just get it together. I heard some of you guys are members, police officers, firemen, people here. We're all human, and we need to protect, because the volunteers are dying. And to have a town where you get 30, 40, I get one night I had one person show up for a CO where there was so much CO in the house, I couldn't believe it. And I have a mile by mile little town, and I couldn't get firemen out. And these guys, they come out for everything. So please, if you guys can get together, do what you need to do, make it right for the residents and the people here, so you guys, we all can continue and stuff. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dan Krasinski, 638 Nassau Street, North Brunswick, New Jersey. So, I just spoke to Suzanne, all the taxpayers in here and residents. We'd like to extend our contract that ended on March 30th till September 30th and get our full rent allotment, $50,266. And between now and then, we will sit down with the Board of Fire Commissioners and come up with a contract that works for everybody. But we need our 90-day extension extended till September 30th. So you can take a roll call, you could take a vote in front of the 71 people here and the 100 that are outside and the 2 live TVs, that we are here making an option to make this work. So it's up to you.
I will sit down anytime, anywhere.
I need to know. drive fire trucks.
I don't know how to drive them.
Well, that's why I asked them to vote now. You're right, they should vote now.
Go now.
You're the public.
The taxpayers are here.
Yes.
Taxpayers, do you want to hear a vote now?
Yes.
Or not?
I make a motion to extend the contract by 90 days to September 30th, 2024. It's been discussed, George. That's what this night has been about. How many more hours do we have to discuss?
We can go all night because there's 100 people here.
Yep.
And each one of them has a question to ask each and every one of you about what's on a fire truck, how much hose is on a fire truck, and none of you are gonna have the answer. So we could stay here till 11 o'clock, and then on September 30th, or on June 30th, you can try and do what you're gonna do, but I'm offering you something that will work, that no one's gonna be pushed into a corner to hurry up with a contract, to hurry up with anything. But we have our bills to pay too, just like our check that sat there, and none of the commissioners signed it, but the 3 commissioners ran in, signed communities, and then the president and the chief fought over who was gonna take it home to the firehouse, so they had to mail it. And mine sat unsigned.
Can you repeat that for the residents?
My check sat unsigned on that table because they didn't want to pay us.
What check is it? It's the rent that they owe.
The rent that they owe us for their trucks that have been in my firehouse since January 1st.
I signed it. I did sign it.
Can't hear.
They want to go to executive session.
There's a motion on the floor.
There's a
There's a motion with no second on the floor.
He's
That
extending
explains
the olive
everything.
branch
Well,
with,
there's no second on the motion, so they're going to take the trucks on June 30th.
Yep.
he's extending the olive branch after I got up there and said, extend it to work on it. He's trying to work on it, and by you guys stone facing him, doesn't look good on your part.
No, I understand. We'll just,
So instead of having
Hiding it from the
170
taxpayers,
people
though.
leave, why don't you go into the bay and go to executive session, and we'll all wait here for your answer.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Let's do it.
Dude, just like we did.
It's not getting any
The
easier.
problem
In there, are you
is,
staying here?
Our problem is you have a personal vendetta.
We want to
I
take
got my
You're the one who sent us
I
a
got my
letter, you were
purse
taking the
here.
fire trucks.
Still have on your website.
You were the one who was taking the fire trucks, and then you denied it.
Instead of arguing, I came here to talk, and there was a hell of a line to get here. I'm a chief as well. I'm a chief in Piscataway.
Sir,
I'm a
come
chief
on up,
for the.
please.
Sure.
I don't think my.
I want to explain to you how this is going to end up.
Sure, we have
I
duty
got
persons
delayed
walking
time.
around. Get on the
No, I got you.
Yeah, you got your.
Listen.
The application says volunteer.
My name is Evan Shigoski. I grew up here in Franklin, 34 Appleton Road. My parents still live there. Okay? My mom has Parkinson's. These gentlemen, my father grew up with Vinny and with Frank and a whole family. I grew up here. I went to Franklin. My sister went to Franklin. My father went to Franklin. My uncle went to Franklin. I live in Piscataway now. They've shown up for my grandmother before she passed away. These are the people I want showing up for my family. I'm a chief officer in Piscataway, the River Road Rescue Squad. I know exactly what it's like to be the chief that people don't like. I get it. That's me. Everyone in this room, Evan Shigoski, you've seen me in person, right? You've heard about me on Facebook. I've been in ENET. We don't steal calls, by the way. We don't steal calls. We get dispatch.
now we got it back and forth.
Now, listen, Danny and I don't have bad blood with him. He's been not nice to me many times. I get it. I get it. I understand why you could be upset. But what he does is not his whole department. It's not his whole department. There are all these people here. You got to dig deeper. There's a lot of stories about me. There's a lot. There's a lot of stories about Evan. They're horseshit. They're horseshit.
You're in a different file folder. I don't have that with me.
It's horseshit. You have to dig deep. You have to see what's real. You cannot act. You cannot. So I want to answer a phone call from Med Central. No one needs help with EMS. EMS is great, but they all call. Listen, we have 40 plus EMTs. Our mayor has a vendetta against me. Me as a person. Commissioner Reed, I was in band with your kid. We kind of know each other a little bit, not well. But I know Frankie Tidwell. I know Carlton Crawley. I know Rudy Davis. I know what you went through. You know this isn't right. You firsthand know this isn't right. firsthand. This makes me sad as a person. Someone that grew up with you and your son, I know who you are as a person. This needs to be done better. Piscataway just lost 2 council seats. You think River Road had nothing to do with that? There's over 9 lawsuits by the police officers against the police department. Where's our police chief? Where's Tom Mosier? Gone. What about our deputy chief of police? That answers to the public safety director that is the mayor. She might be leaving too. Our BA is retiring at the end of the year. Kind of weird, this is his second job. He's double dipping. He already retired from Englewood. Our CFO, he's retiring too. Guess what? These piles of lawsuits are going to deposition. You think these residents, you're going to be unelectable after this. River Road will be back in Piscataway. It's going to take time. But you think these people aren't retiring, leaving, getting sued, getting voted out because of the bad decisions of a governing body? My stories aren't real. This is a vendetta. We went out, we did the Oprah request. Can't do Oprah requests anymore in about the next 90 days. But, the numbers weren't true. You cannot take out your disdain towards one man on an entire community. You want to get elected again? This ain't it. This ain't it. My time is up. I yield. No one stood up for me. I'm going to give everyone the opportunity I didn't get. What's up, Sue?
I thought you were going to get up and public portion.
No. Go ahead and vote, but this is how it's going to end up. What's up, John?
I'd say good evening, but it's not a good evening, the fact that we're here. My name is Riley Harris. I live at 636 Divine Avenue in Elizabeth. Been a member at 27 for approximately 3 years now. Because Chief Krasinski took a chance. He said, you come down, you do duty crews, you train, we're willing to take it. Chief Krasinski, how many active members do we have?
66.
Okay, I'm going to speak to the residents. There are 66 members of East Franklin that are willing to put their lives on the line for every single one. I am willing to not go home to my fiance to save one of you guys. The fact that the board, nobody, second Commissioner Ferretti's motion to vote is a slap in the face to every single one of you here and every single taxpayer.
That don't even know what's going on.
Thank you.
Well, my name is Robert Powell. I'm an acting captain in East Franklin. I live in North Brunswick. I've been a fireman for just over 12 years. I grew up down the shore in Monmouth County. Was a member of a very active, progressive fire department there, Neptune Township. When I moved up here, I wanted to be a part of something very similar. I got better. And it is an absolute shame what is happening here tonight and what has been happening here since the beginning of the year. Me and my guys, we get up all hours of the night. Rain, hail, sleet, snow, it doesn't matter. We leave our jobs. We leave our families. We use our own vacation, personal, sick time to come to these calls for you guys, the residents. And it truly upsets me what is happening here. And I'm actually holding back tears if you can't hear it. Because I love this place, and I love my guys. Thank you.
Hey guys, most of you don't know me. My name is Sahil Shoaib. I'm new to East Franklin. And I'm a Rutgers student, and I'm sure most of you are oblivious to the fact that around 1/5 of our active membership are Rutgers students, and myself and a whole bunch of my friends here are running our asses 1 and 2 hours across the state in our summer break to come serve you guys. Alright? And when my friends ask me why I'm not at that college party on a Friday night and I'm running my ass from the library at 1 a.m. to come to your fire calls, I say it's because I want to help people here, and none of us are happy that we're not getting to do what we want to do and help people because you guys can't put your egos aside. Like, we're 18 and 19 years old, and we decided that we're gonna put aside our college life to come help you guys. None of us are from around here. I'm from Pennington, New Jersey, which is an hour south of here. There's my friends from Mahwah here. And we're in East Franklin because this is one of the best departments in the state. They've provided us with the best training and the best family that anyone could ask for. And for someone like you guys to say that we're going to take all of this away from us because you guys can't put your egos aside is a shame. You guys should be ashamed of this, and I think you guys need to come to a solution because it's absolutely ridiculous for us to be spending our time giving up our college lives to come down here and serve you guys just to be told one beauty crew that we show up that our department's getting shut down. So I think you guys should really think about it and come to a conclusion.
Hi, my name is Robert Matei, Deputy Chief East Franklin. I'm going to abstain my address for various reasons. You know, I just want to say that you guys as a Board of Fire Commissioners have driven such a wedge between East Franklin and community from last year to this year that it's unbelievable. You guys need to figure it out because we need to figure it out, all right? And it's because of things that have been done and lies that have been told and promises that have gone unkept that the wedge is there. And you guys need to figure that out. And hold on, Chief Inzano, how many years you have in the fire service?
Overall?
Yeah. 50-some years. Chief Krasinski?
41.
41. How about you guys? To the residents, who do you want making your decisions about fire suppression? Over 100 years? There was horses and carriages back then. All right?
Hamilton Street was dirt.
You guys need to fix your stuff because you created a problem between two fire departments that doesn't need to be there. Figure it out. Thank you.
How you guys doing? My name is Victor Ortega. I live at 20 Home Street. Been there for a couple of years. Some of these guys know me. We fought fires together. I'm retired from New Brunswick. Did 26 and a half years. Okay, and I met Danny many times at fire calls and this and that, and he got me to join. You know, and he noticed that I still love to serve and help and train these guys. You know, and the community, you know, the public, from my eyes, from my personal opinion, this firehouse has done an outstanding job. Sometimes I feel like I don't need to be there because, to me, they overtrain. They do a lot of training every night. I'm standing there going, wow, can I get a break? But that's how it is. You're getting yourself a good department, but I still don't understand how you're going to tell the residents you're not no longer going to have a fire service. You don't have a good reason. I don't see it, and it's wrong to tell them that, you know what, you're on your own. We're going to shut them down. Is there another solution instead of shutting it down? Did you guys even think about that? You just tell the resident, you get no fire protection. None of you get fire protection. Give them a good reason why their family is not going to be saved, protected, their homes and everything. I don't see it. I don't hear it. And you heard all night everybody's telling you this and that. I'm just telling you what I see. Wrong. There's got to be another solution. We're shutting down a firehouse and telling the residents, you need to go somewhere else. Go find fire somewhere else. You're not going to get fire protection. They're not going to be there for you. Tell them why. Tell the residents why. Not with us. We know why we're here. Because we love this job. We still continue on. Like you said, how many years between them two? Still there. Like I said, I don't hear it, and you're not making no logic here. The resident here is not liking it. And I'm not speaking for them, but you can ask each one of them, and they'll tell you. So, that's my time. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Kat, short for Katya. I'm actually a union resident. However, I'm also a member of the Ladies Auxiliary from East Franklin Fire Department, and I couldn't have asked for a better family, both females and males. Being a wife of a firefighter who's dedicated not only to his brotherhood and sisterhood, and sitting here and hearing all of this makes me so angry and so upset to know that each and every single one of you could even think to do this. My husband is currently going through fire academy right now. I give up my family time. I just got married in November. I give up my family time. He gives up his personal time to come here to fight and save with each and every single one of these people. Not just for these people, the taxpayers, for you guys who are all residents. How dare you? Shame on all of you for that. I can't fathom to even think the way that you guys think. The countless money that these taxpayers are throwing in, and you guys are just waving it around. We're gonna take it away. I would wanna move out in a heartbeat from this district. I would rather move out to somewhere that would wanna represent their taxpayers, as opposed to sit here and say, whoops, sorry, they didn't agree to a contract. They not only serve East Franklin, they serve everybody else that it affects. I grew up in Union, and let me tell you, we've been talking about moving down here because I love the community. I love how both these firehouses work together. There's gonna be good, there's gonna be bad days. Oh well, we're all human. You all make mistakes. You all have your own personal opinions, just as everybody else here does. To sit here and do what you guys are doing and say what you guys are doing, that's not right. My father was a Newark My father was a Newark officer for many, many years. I don't even think Newark goes through the same issue because they all come together. They all talk. They all mediate. There's always a middle for something. It's not right. Come to it. Whether it's with you guys agree, whether it's with they agree, there has to be a middle. There has to be. I love driving up here 40 minutes. I really do. I just hope you guys do the right thing.
Adam Moore, East Franklin, 48 Hill Street.
Hang on.
Boss gotta get back. 48 Hill Street, Milltown, New Jersey. Sherrod, you brought up multiple times in the previous meetings that we shouldn't be able to raise the taxes and this and that for the fire trucks, even though it was already allotted in the last election. When we came to, I believe it was the May meeting, when we were trying to situate a date and the practicals of the fire truck, and then you guys put a halt onto it. I live in Milltown. Half these people here half our department doesn't even live in the district, but guess who's getting to the fires first due? The chief doesn't live in town, he gets there first due. He beats the chief who lives in town. And you say you're gonna rely on the people from the department that live in town that don't get out? And if they do, it's father and son. And what the hell is that gonna do for anybody here? You can't fight a fire with two guys.
What's the NPA standard for members riding on a fire truck?
3.
Oh, okay, very good.
Yeah. What's the farthest one here? Alan lives in Hunterdon. Riley lives in Elizabeth. Antonio lives in Old Bridge. Crater lives in Hillsborough. Brandon Victor lives in Red Bank. All these guys come around. If they're not on the first due truck, they still come to cover your district, and or if not, come to the scene to help out. That's all I got.
My name is Denise Van Dersen. I live at
live in this district, but my family has a very long-standing legacy in this district. The Van Derstens go back a very long way, from my husband's grandfather to my father-in-law, my husband's grandmother, myself, and now my daughter.
1941.
We have a very long-standing legacy. I do not live in this district. I do work in this district. We had a fire call, and for the smell of smoke, we called 911. Before, I was instructed by dispatch to clear the occupants of the building. Before I could clear the building that I was standing in, East Franklin was there, responding. Not one truck from community, but East Franklin was there. Before I could clear the building that I was in. 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, I lost my own home to a house fire. My own home. Because our town couldn't get a truck out the door. Perhaps if they had the response like I had at my job, maybe my home would have been saved, but it wasn't. There has to be a better way. There has to be a better way than you saying you're going to shut down the firehouse. There is a solution. You cannot say you did not see that, because in this meeting you did say, well, we don't have a choice. That's what we're going to have to do.
He was
When I
just
lost
given
my
the
home-
opportunity to, and said, I don't want him to get his
Yes.
way. I heard you say it.
When I lost my own home, East Franklin was there. They're my family. They were there. Anything I needed. I was on the phone with Danny multiple times that day. I got calls from pretty much every member of the department asking if I needed anything.
The chief of Monroe saw the fire plate and knew to call Danny.
Danny, at 4 o'clock in the morning, he was called, and he was there.
Doesn't get better than that.
Nope.
We are family. So I implore you to at least take his suggestion and extend it to September 30th. Give that extra 90 days. There is absolutely no reason why that cannot happen. There's no reason. Before one of these poor taxpayers has to go through what I went through. And until you have gone through that, you cannot understand the devastation. I didn't just lose my home. I lost memories. I lost things that cannot be replaced. And I'm not talking about my furniture, I'm talking about photos. I'm talking about mementos. I implore you to come to a solution, because there's gotta be a way. Thank you.
Stephen Van Dorsten, 56 Straw Lane, Old Bridge. That was my wife. I've been a firefighter in Franklin Township since I was 16 years old. I'm now 45. I'm still here. All right? I am a third generation East Franklin firefighter. My grandfather joined 1941, my father joined 1966, and I joined in the year 2000. My son, he's turning 16 this October 1st, and he's going to be the fourth generation in East Franklin, because we care about this town. Due to financial issues and stuff, I had to move to where I live now, but I still come here. I still am an active member of this fire department. I've never heard of such a disagreement in my years of fire service that the Board of Fire Commissioners cannot sit down and come up with some type of a common ground with this fire department that has been around since 1929, and now you're going to turn around and shut them down? It's absurd. I know you. I've known you since 2000 when I joined. I knew you before that when I was on the other side of town. I know you're not a bad person. You may have a grudge, you may have whatever. Put that aside. The rest of you, I've campaigned for. I've went out and walked the streets for. All right? Because I wanted you to do the right thing. And in my opinion right now, I can't say that you are. And I'm sorry, but it's just sad. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Perez. I'm a resident of New Brunswick, and I see there's a couple females on the board, so this speech is for you guys directly. We're women in the fire service. We all know it's not easy for any of us. We know that when we go to school, it's not easy. We know that sometimes these fire departments aren't really necessarily open to us being around. But I'm here to tell you that that wasn't my experience at East Franklin. And I'm one of very few. I'm one of very few women who can say, I went through my 200 hours of Fire 1, and I passed all my tests. I'm also one of the few women who can go back to my fire school and say, I don't feel not included when I go to the firehouse. I have chief reaching out to me every time saying, hey, we're doing a training, we're doing this, let's go do it. I say, okay, no problem. I've worked with each and every single one of the guys in this room, and never once have I ever been made to feel like I was an other. But I know that that's not the case for all of us. And I know that because when I go to school, I sit here and I talk to the other people, and they tell me that they're not included in stuff like this. They tell me that they've been made to feel like an other. I have my mentor right here next to me who has pushed me through fire school, along with a couple of other guys here who have pushed me through fire school as well. And it feels like such a disservice for me to have just finished fire school just to hear that you guys are trying to shut us down. In that scenario, I kind of don't even see how that really helps any of you guys, because that was an investment that the taxpayers made. The taxpayers paid for me to go to fire school. And we don't get paid for this. None of us get paid for this. We do this simply because we want to help other people. And for it to be so many people in this room to have completed those 200 hours or practically work another full-time job, there's some of these guys who sleep at the department just to make sure that each and every single one of these taxpayers get their right to protection. And it's such a disservice because we know it's a dying practice. Not everybody's volunteering to become a firefighter because realistically, and especially for our department, the expectation and the bar is set so high. And I would love to continue working with them because the bar is set so high, and they've made that expectation for me as well. And as women in the fire service, we already know that that's not always the deal. Sometimes we mess up, and the reaction to that is, well, she was a woman and we shouldn't have expected her to do that, but they're hard on me because they know I can do it. They know we can do it because I'm not the only female there. And it's quite honestly a shame to see other women in this fire department and in this fire district reacting this way. It's such a shame that you're willing to just let us shut it down completely, and you do a disservice to the members of this department along with the residents. It's quite a shame, and you should be ashamed of yourself. But I'm not even gonna stand here and act like I understand the politics, because I just finished fire school. But teach their own.
Hello, my name is Monica Thiel. I'm gonna not include my address for personal reasons. I've been with East Franklin for 10 years now. All right, I come from a family of firefighters. My mom, my dad, my twin brother, all right? Both of my parents were firefighters at a different department. My dad was paid at a different department. My mom was a volunteer, different department. Why didn't I go to that department? I'm not gonna say what it was because it doesn't matter. Why didn't I go there? Because my dad told me Chief Krasinski runs a good department. There's a lot of training, we go to a lot of calls, all right? We are good with the community, we serve our community, and that's what we're dedicated to. So I joined. And to hear that we're gonna shut down over this contract, this dispute that can be negotiated, that's absurd to me, completely absurd, all right? We have spoken about how all of our members are from different towns, different places. You don't think those places have volunteer fire companies that they could join? We all come here because we wanna serve this community. We're a family. So yeah, you know what, if you shut us down, maybe our guys can go to a different department. But what about our community? What about our residents? All right, they depend on us. And we are serving them. But we could serve other people if we wanted to. We choose this department. So I don't understand why you guys are not choosing us. Thank you.
Hi, hello. I'm
Derek Presley, aka Elvis. First of all, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Hey,
Excuse my French.
Stop French. That's not
I'm sorry, but Danny K is the best chief East Franklin ever had. So y'all wanna go ahead and shut down East Franklin? Why? Well, they're the only department I know that can get all the injuries out with 4 to 6 guys on each rig. So I suggest you guys get your orders, get your priorities straight, because East Franklin is the best department in Somerset County, and I'm happy that had these guys come to any fire in Piscataway all the time. So please, if anything, don't shut these guys down. These guys are the best of the best, and I'm happy to bring these guys, even train with them too. So just think about it. Please, thank you. Have a good night. That's it.
Janet, wake up!
My name is Olivia Van Dersen. My father is a third-generation firefighter of Station 27, and I can honestly say, when I watch my dad grab his keys, walk out the door, and get in his car and leave to go risk his life to help save the lives of others, I am never more proud of or inspired by him. And it is unfathomable that you would threaten to take away an institution full of all of these members like my father, when there are stations all over our state that are being closed down due to lack of membership. I will always be grateful to my father for raising me around such a caring and courageous community. And it is devastating to me that it would be threatened to be taken away over silly conditions that are not in the best interest of our fire station. I implore you to please just stop hearing us and start listening to us. Thank you.
That doesn't melt your hearts. I don't know what will.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Pastor Colette Samura, Senior Pastor of the Light of Christ International Fellowship Ministries. And I have been in Franklin Township for 27 years. And the church is in Brunswick, but most of my members are in Franklin Township. And I am very close to the fire department. I am in 35 Franklin Boulevard. And these guys have been a help to us. Originally, I'm from Africa, Sierra Leone. We have a lot of people here. My wife is here, and my son is also here. As a pastor, just listening to everyone, and I want to just encourage you guys. First of all, we appreciate what you guys are doing. You know you are trying to do your best. But as a pastor, I realize that tonight, I want to encourage you, for you guys to be able to sleep in peace. I want to encourage you, please, we need a second person to move the motion so that you would go to bed and have a good sleep. Because if not, this is what I sense as a man of God. It will be very hard for you to be able to sleep after hearing all these voices. You are going to hear the same voices tonight. Some of you will have dreams about what you have had here today. So I'm encouraging you as a man of God, as a pastor in this community, to listen to these voices. The Lord will not come down and talk to you guys. He speaks to people. We have heard several voices here today. And most of those voices, they are speaking to you. The Lord is using them to speak to you. And I want you to think about this and make this decision. Do the right thing. As a pastor, I think it is the right thing for you to do. Listen to the voice of the people. Then I believe you will definitely have your job. So as a pastor, it's an advice. May the Lord bless you.
Hello everyone, my name is Red. I recently joined this fire department and I just started my second day of fire academy. And I shouldn't have to be like up here fighting just to even like continue to like be able to even just go to school, because like people know that like there's less and less firefighters, people aren't joining as much, and for me to be having up here like currently going through fire school, actively trying to like fight to still be able to go to fire school and not just get shut down, I don't think like anyone should have to do this. So just please rethink it. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Elsa Rodriguez. I live in Franklin for 9 years. I had a question. Please, Victor, you can come in here for help. My language is Spanish. Yo quiero hacerle una pregunta a ustedes, ya que me enteré hace poco en la página de Instagram de East Franklin.
Okay, she follows the Instagram page of East Franklin.
Me enteré de un problema que está pasando y mi pregunta para ustedes es la siguiente.
Her question to you is,
¿Creen ustedes que si la comunidad de Franklin se hubiese sabido lo que ustedes están haciendo ahora, hubiesen votado por ustedes?
in other words, if you think that the community would have known what you were doing, they would have voted for you to be in those seats?
¿Cuál es la necesidad? Se supone que ustedes, como departamento de bomberos, están para ayudar a la comunidad. ¿Alguien más entiende español?
Repita.
Se supone que como departamento de bomberos están para ayudar a la comunidad.
So the expectation is that as a fire department, we're expected to
No
serve
para
the
cerrar
community,
estaciones.
not to be closing down stations.
¿Alguien puede responderme?
She said, could somebody answer her?
Again, I make a motion to extend the contract to September 30th.
So you guys are not answering any questions?
Para mí en 9 años nunca lo había visto a ustedes.
She says in 9 years, she's never seen you guys.
Ni ayudando, ni pasando por calles de Franklin.
Or I've never seen you guys ride any of the trucks.
Pero a este señor sí lo he visto.
But I've seen Danny
Y a unos
Kuczynski
cuantos de los que están aquí.
and the people who are standing in the back of the room.
Incluso tengo 3 hijos
I also have 3 children,
y su sueño era ser bombero.
and their dreams are now to be firefighters.
Y la única estación
And the only station,
que acepta sin importar el físico que usted tenga
the only station that accepts people without any
es
discrimination
la de Franklin acá en...
is East Franklin District 3.
O sea, todavía estoy en duda de que algún día ustedes puedan responder para qué se eligen en unas elecciones si no van a ayudar a la comunidad.
She said, I'm still having doubts as to why you guys were elected if you're not going to be here to help out the community.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you for
Le he dicho, cuando hay dos mujeres que hablan español y no quieren hablar para ustedes. Gran vida avisa de eso.
They call me Dominican, I'm not even Dominican.
Ray Quayback, resident North Brunswick. I'm also the acting assistant chief of East Franklin. As we're all here tonight, we've all heard stats, we've heard figures, we've heard vendettas, we've heard numerous things.
The tape from 14 years ago.
Yeah, well, I'm here to say with the residents that are left in here, this is what you guys voted for, or what you didn't vote for. So know that whether we get shut down or we don't get shut down, let's make sure that this never happens again. Tell your friends, tell your families, get everybody out to vote, and we will never have this again. Because I know, by being a member of East Franklin for almost 10 years now, Chief is going to make sure that your voices are heard. So just keep showing the public, keep spreading the word, and let them know what's going on. That's all I'd say.
And you're more than all the welcome to use the district's property if so required.
Sure. And open the door whenever you want, too, whatever possible.
My name is Susan Jones. I live at 49 Broadwood Avenue, right across from the firehouse. And first of all, I'd like to thank all of you for your service, past and present. The firehouse, you guys are wonderful neighbors. You bring back the dog when the dog runs away. Thank you for that. I've been in this room a couple times, and it was to vote, and I think I voted for you. And I would just implore you as a taxpayer and a voter to just listen to what the people are saying. And the most reasonable thing that I've heard tonight is to extend for 90 days to September 30th. You know, that allows time to bring the temperature down. Absolutely. You know, to take out all the personal, you know, and to sit down. You know, you guys are the commission. You're supposed to do the difficult things. There is a solution. There is a solution. And we can meet in the middle because we, the residents, are the ones that are going to be at risk. We need the firehouse. They're wonderful, awesome neighbors. We need you. And there's a solution. There is a solution. And you guys can figure it out and work together. Thank
Good evening, everybody. This is a great opportunity to be in this meeting today for the first time. I'm sorry, my name is Alibami True. I live West Point Avenue, Somerset, New Jersey, 08873. That's my zip code. It's a great pleasure to be here tonight. The exchanges were very tense. That is part of governance at local level. But what I'm saying, I want to join my pastor for us to go home with joy. Listen to these wonderful voices. Okay? I know you are trying to accomplish a particular goal. Maybe to reduce expenditure, but look at the benefit area. Now, when I did a study about Franklin Township, if my memory can serve me right, in 2008, Franklin Township was rated by Money Magazine as the 5th best place to live in the United States. Wow. Number 5. Why? Because of the fire department? Because of the police, although they give us tickets? Well, in a way, you're doing a good job. And because of being the resident I live here. And in 2012, Franklin Township was rated to be the 12th best place to live in the U.S. Remember, the United States is very big. For us them to mention Franklin Township to be one of the best places to live is a pride, it's a credit to all of us. But we want to give credit to God Almighty. Mr. Chairman, a young man, nice looking guy, talk to your team. We are worried, I'm scared to hear that by the 30th, you take all the equipment because of the power vested in you. I'm worried because fire is a very serious disaster. And for the time I have lived in Franklin Township, I have never heard of any major disaster in terms of fire because of the department headed by Mr. Dan. I had an incident 2 years ago I call for help because there's a problem in my basement. I smell an odor that, made me uncomfortable. I called them in less than 10 minutes. They assembled 3 fire engines right on my street, plus the, emergency or whatever you call them. And they helped me. So for us to see this tonight, we are really confused. We want to vote you next time, Mr. Commissioner. But with this type of atmosphere, if I come here next time to vote, I'll look very closely who am I going to vote for. A young man like you and Mr. Kate, I think you're a commissioner, right, before, of police, right, Mr. Kenneth? We want to see you guys because you have wealth of experience. Well, let us work as a team. Work with the fire department. This is a family in Franklin Township. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Safi Samora, just as my husband just said earlier on, and that's our Secretary General. And we have a church in North Brunswick, but I've lived in Somerset for my whole life because my husband brought me to this country. I'm a registered nurse. Yeah, and Dan is a family to us, and we pray for Somerset as a whole every day that we pray. And I want to believe if there is a fire, they will be the first responder to my house, because we like maybe they just need to run to my house with a hose, So, and definitely from the outcome tonight, we will definitely vote for you guys. There is nothing impossible, because of humility, just like my husband said tonight. So every disagreement, there is an agreement. We'll vote for you guys because of what will happen tonight. So I want to believe you guys will rethink, and there will be a second that we just agree, so that we guys can work things together. This firehouse don't have any race or anything. They are so very, very accommodative to us as a community, as a family. They are like families to us, really. They are very, very accommodative to us. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, guys. We'll definitely I'll be out there to Somerset County to vote for our chairman. We'll definitely vote for you guys. Thank you so much. And I'll be to our firemen, please, from the outcome tonight. Thank you so much,
Ted Ritterson, 9 Carroll Court, Somerset, New Jersey. I started at East Franklin, grew up right behind Community, right on South Dover. Actually, right down the street from you. Used to play basketball with your kids down the street. Fought fire with your husband, Janet. I've been around quite a while. I started at 16 years old, 2001. Left East Franklin to serve our country. Sailed all over the world. Came back home, bought a house right here in Franklin. Mile away from where I grew up. Went right back into the fire service. Why? Because I live to serve. Sat exactly where all 5 of you are sitting right now. Made decisions for both sides, whether they liked me or they didn't. I did not play favorites. If you would like to use me as a scapegoat from before, that's fine. I can stand up because I live off of 3 codes. Honor, courage, commitment. Okay? Have the honor, have the courage to stand up for yourself, have the commitment to follow through. If you're going to follow through with shutting down this department, you are outside of your mind. You have 66 sets of fire gear in there. That are 66 people. We don't even have enough seats on the truck to get every single firefighter there. And you're going to look at this and go, yeah, no, we're just going to take the trucks June 30th. You have a motion on the floor from a commissioner, and nobody would second to sit here and settle out a contract dispute. What are you thinking? There is no thought here. You have a way to make yourselves actually look good in the public light. You have several cameras pointed on you right now. An option, an olive branch from the chief of the department to go, hey, let's settle this out. And you won't do it.
Coward.
Good job. Yep.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Most of your faces I know. My name is Ken Gralick. I'm the fire chief of North Brunswick. Been a life member of East Franklin since 1999 under Chief Krasinski's regime. Most of you guys, Sherrod, yourself, we fought fires together. I'm appalled to even see that you guys have to go through this. It's disgusting. This has to happen. And I need to come out and show the support and hear what everybody had to say. And it seems like it's almost 10 o'clock at night, and it seems like everybody that has spoke has said there's no reason for this to even happen. And for chairman, commissioners, it's absolutely absurd. And I can't believe that you guys are actually going through to even have this hearing. This is disgusting. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you,
Anyone else?
Yeah, she wants to say something.
Hi, my name is Sarah Touré, and my address is 362 Westport Avenue, Somerset, Humber Street. Right? And I go to Hillcrest School. Please keep the firehouse, and this firehouse you can make birthdays. You can make anything you want here, but you also have to pay too. Also, please keep the firehouse, and I love this firehouse because you can make birthdays.
Well, it's over. It's over. Mr. Chairman, it's over.
Good evening, gentlemen, commissioners. I cover breaking news in this city for almost Carlos Ramirez, reporter with New Brunswick Today. I won't give out my address. I cover breaking news for over 8 years now, and we have several scanners that monitor everything throughout Central Jersey. And everything we hear, no matter where I'm, up north or south, we always hear Somerset, 24/7, always something going on. So where there's a problem, there's a solution, and right now there's a motion that needs to be seconded. These firefighters could go anywhere if their house gets shut down. They could get paid if they desire to. They choose to continue to volunteer to serve communities that some of them don't even live on. So to all those firefighters that come out here and volunteer, I want to say thank you, because you guys could go anywhere but choose to serve all these residents that come out here that elected you, that entrust and put their lives on your hands, commissioners. So if you shut down those houses and anybody loses their life because of that, it will fall on you, not on them, because they're willing to serve their community. So there's a motion, and I hope you can second that. Thank you.
Craig Miller, 25 Camp Avenue, South River, New Jersey. That's right, South River, New Jersey. As a district training officer, I don't just represent 27, I also represent 25. So I'm not just here to defend East Franklin, I'm here to defend all of you at 25 as well with everything that's going on. So a brief history of me with East Franklin. This is finishing my 17th year. It'll be my 18th year in September. I can attribute where I am today to everything that falls back right here. All right, from being a firefighter to being a foreman, to being a lieutenant, to being a captain, and pretty much establishing that leadership role. How do you define a leader? When people ask me how I define a leader, pretty much it's putting people in a position to succeed. All right. Ultimately, everybody sitting on the Board of Fire Commissioners, in my eyes, is supposed to be a leader. All right. And part of being a leader is pretty much having the input of all stakeholders, your subordinates, which would be the chiefs, the firefighters. There might be something you miss when you make a policy. Having their input goes a long way. All right. Just like I said, I was pretty much bred a fire officer here, and it led me to a great path in my full-time career. I am no longer a teacher. I took a step forward tonight and accepted a role as an administrator with North Plainfield School District. I just plead that you sit down with Chief Inzano, Chief Krasinski, and just figure it out. Get their input, and I'm sure both sides can come to some sort of medium. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'll speak.
No laughing.
Gage Waterman. I'm not going to say my address. So I go to Rutgers, and I joined the department because I'm at Rutgers. This summer I'm going to the fire academy, and I could have went from another station. I could join another station and went with them, but no, I chose to go with East Franklin. I'm living down here to get the air tanks, get my gear, and go to the academy. This past semester at Rutgers, I took negotiations. You can win contracts, but at the end of the day, the repercussions will come later. And if you shut down the fire station, what are you losing? You can lose the votes, and you're going to lose a very good fire station that's protecting the residents. That's all.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, hearing none. Do we have a second?
My name is Matthew Lappin. I live at Oakcroft Lane in Franklin Township. Man, it's been months. We've been talking about the firehouse shutting down, and I just don't get it. I don't get why you guys, and particularly you, why do you want to not extend the contract? What is the problem? Do you not like the fire service? Do you not like your job here? Do you not get paid enough? I don't understand it. I literally wake up, go to calls all night, all day. That's what I do. I love it. And you guys are taking that away from me and my brothers and sisters. All because of maybe it's an ego trip, maybe it's a contractual issue that you can't agree upon. But an extension would only extend what's going on so we can at least come to a conclusion of what we need to get done. It's frustrating. Like, we're asking for basic needs and basic necessities, an extension. Not even a solution tonight. We don't want a solution tonight. We want something that we can both agree upon, which would be an extension towards a solution. I know you're not going to answer me a question, and that's okay. Take time to think about it. But
Tell them you're awake.
what?
Tell them you're awake, can't tell them the answer.
I'd be here all night. That's the problem. I have another birthday by then. But yeah, please take into consideration that you're not proving a point to me. You're not proving a point to anybody here by not giving us an extension. You're not proving anything. Just making yourself look bad. We'll all go on and do what we gotta do, but with your help, it would be a lot better. That's it. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening to the owners of the table. Mr. Ray, how are you doing, sir? My name is Donald Glenn Thomas. I live in Somerset for almost 20 years now. I don't want to say that much. I just want to have the people to plead that you guys to have to solve this so we all can be safe. Because we live without a firehouse. I mean, it's very, very dangerous for us. So, with all due respect, I'm just here to play so that we can solve it. Thank you very much.
I make a motion to close the public portion at 9:59 p.m.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
That was
Thank you very much. Date and time and place of next meeting will be Tuesday, July 9th, 2024 at 7 p.m. in the district office. Before we adjourn tonight, we're going to go into public executive session and discuss this contract issue and other issues that were brought to the floor, personnel issues as well. So as
We're
a
coming
board,
back to
welcome
public
Mr.
portion
Guy.
when you,
Yes, we
regular
will
session?
keep
Oh, we'll
coming
wait
back,
outside.
right.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman,
Reimbursed.
I know public portion has closed.
Oh,
Thank you, everyone.
All right, so we're gonna, that's fine. We're gonna make a motion, to accept the terms, the 60 days. We give a 60 days extension to the fire companies negotiation with a third party, impartial person to be a mediator. So I need a motion and a second.
I make a motion to extend the contract 60 days and have a third party.
Second.
All in favor?
Is it 60 or 90?
60.
60. Okay.
And just so the record's clear, that also includes the prorated payment for those 60 days too.
So that is
So
it.
there's a motion and a second, is there a vote?
Roll call?
Commissioner Ferretti?
Yes.
Commissioner Natal?
Yes.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Braxton?
Yes.
And Chairman Middleton?
Yes.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 10:39 p.m.
Do I have a second?
Chief, does the firehouse still get their money?
Yes.
Sorry.